to Double 11. Amazing prices, amazing styles. Win big in Mega Draw. Lowest prices, incredible benefits.
Welcome to MCGG Rising Stars. From September 12th to October 19th, take part in the regional contest, open to all players. Step up and prove your strength.
Division finals will run from October 24 to November 2. The top 16 players in each division may advance to the next stage of MRS. Check your in-game mail for information. The S3 Finals group stage kicks off from November 8 to November 9. The top 6 players from each group will qualify for the S3 Finals semifinals.
The semi-finals will be held on November 15. The highly anticipated grand final arrives on November 16. The champion will earn a direct qualifications for the first MCGG World Championship. The battle is on and the world is watching.
Does the Lord of Lava also crave the Sovereign's blood?
Fool! The tyrant's remains will only bring doom! Their brutal dominion, our warriors were corrupted into foul bonds of decay. Sovereign of the Abyss, Obsidia. Her curse still flows within the Sovereign's blood.
Such loyal little puppets, aren't you?
layout puppet. No different from my spawns. Bow to me. Keep your throne, or be destroyed.
The Abyss bows to no one.
For the abyss!
These wretched spawns reek of its corruption. Your sovereign has a god to kill.
To Double 11. Amazing prices, amazing styles. Win big in Mega Draw. Lowest prices, incredible benefits.
Welcome to MCGG Rising Stars. From September 12th to October 19th, take part in the regional contest, open to all players. Step up and prove your strength.
Division finals will run from October 24 to November 2. The top 16 players in each division may advance to the next stage of MRS. Check your in-game mail for information. S3 Finals group stage kicks off from November 8 to November 9. The top 6 players from each group will qualify for the S3 Finals semifinals.
The semi-finals will be held on November 15. The highly anticipated grand final arrives on November 16. The champion will earn a direct qualifications for the first MCBG World Championship. The battle is on and the world is watching.
Does the Lord of Lava also crave the Sovereign's blood?
Fool! The tyrant's remains will only bring doom! Their brutal dominion, our warriors were corrupted into foul bonds of decay. Sovereign of the Abyss, Obsidia. Her curse still flows within the Sovereign's blood.
Such loyal little puppets, aren't you?
You are merely a puppet, no different from my spawns. Bow to me. Keep your throne, or be destroyed.
The Abyss bows to no one.
For the Abyss!
These wretched spawns reek of its corruption. Your sovereign has a god to kill.
Double 11. Amazing prices, amazing styles. Win big in Mega Draw. Lowest prices, incredible benefits.
Welcome to MCGG Rising Stars. From September 12th to October 19th, take part in the regional contest, open to all players. Step up and prove your strength.
Division finals will run from October 24 to November 2. The top 16 players in each division may advance to the next stage of MRS. Check your in-game mail for information. The S3 Finals group stage kicks off from November 8 to November 9. The top 6 players from each group will qualify for the S3 Finals semifinals.
The semifinals will be held on November 15. The highly anticipated grand final arrives on November 16. The champion will earn a direct qualification for the first MCGG World Championship. The battle is on and the world is watching.
Does the Lord of Lava also crave the Sovereign's blood?
Fool! The tyrant's remains will only bring doom! Their brutal dominion, our warriors were corrupted into foul bonds of decay. Sovereign of the Abyss, Obsidia. Her curse still flows within the Sovereign's blood.
Such loyal little puppets, aren't you?
You are merely a puppet, no different from my spawns. Bow to me. Keep your throne, or be destroyed.
The Abyss bows to no one. wretched spawns reek of its corruption. Your sovereign has a god to kill.
To Double 11. Amazing prices, amazing styles. Win big in Mega Draw.
Singapore Season 10 is powered by Moonton and Pulse Nova Entertainment. Presented by IT, your homegrown bubble tea brand since 2011. Official gaming chair partner DX Racer, the pioneer of the world's first gaming chair. Our partner in esports, Future Living and Singapore Esports Association. Our official playoffs venue partner, the Centrepoint. And our official broadband partner, My Republic.
Good morning, everyone, and welcome to the absolute final day of MPL Singapore Season 10. My name is Suki, and I am honored to be your host for today. Well, we are here at Centrepoint for the grand finals. This is your last chance as well for you to come down and get some prizes. We have MLBB merch, we have diamonds, we have skins, we have, I guess, fans, and we also have teams to play today. So today, it is the grand finals. It is months of blood, sweat, and tears culminating into one game, one day, to see who is the champion, who gets to represent Singapore at M7. But on top of that, on top of all these prizes, on top of the competition, there's also an IT lucky draw. If you haven't heard yet, you gotta come down, you gotta chuck your stub into the lucky draw bowl and be present for the draw at 4:30 in order to win. Of course, the grand prize is a chance for 2 flights and accommodation to head on over to Jakarta, as well as $30,000 diamonds. I wish it was $30,000 actually, but 30,000 diamonds, as well as some MPL exclusive skins. So don't miss out on that. And of course, we would not be here if not for the game itself, Mobile Legends Bang Bang, that is currently nominated for Esports Game of the Year as well as Esports Mobile Game of the Year. All right, so now with all of that out of the way, let's head over to the schedule for today. All right. And so for the schedule on today, we have first matchup, of course, is going to be Evil going up against Kingdom Esports. They are going to be vying for a chance to fight in the grand finals against Flash SG. After which, we are going to have, of course, an absolute slugfest. It's going to be a best of 7 grand finals to see who is the champion of this year's MPL Season 10, as well as to see who gets to represent Singapore to fly to Jakarta to go to M7. This is it, guys. This is it. This is the finals. The absolute last chance for these teams to make a statement this season. Who is going to end up as legends? Who are going to mark their name in the history of MPL Singapore? I can't wait to find out. So let's head on over to the casters, Abstract and Jace.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, a very good morning. It's still morning.
Yeah, we're 7 minutes left for morning.
Yeah.
So you can continue on. Good morning.
Good morning, everyone.
Yes.
And of course, everyone in Centrepoint, I hope that you guys had a great morning thus far, because I'm pretty sure that your mornings and afternoons actually is gonna get even better at the, while the day goes on, right, basically. Because we, as Suki has said, we are going to be finally coming to a conclusion to Season 10 of MPL SG. It has been a pretty long ride, and we are definitely expecting one champions coming up today.
Yeah, definitely, right. We sent quite a few teams home already. Even my personal favorite players already sent home yesterday. But we have to focus on today, because today is the day where we will be able to find out who will be representing us in M7. And that said, let's take a look at the brackets just in case you missed out on all the action, especially for the past few days.
Yep, which I did actually, because when it comes down to yesterday's games, I missed those out. But we focus on what happened on Friday first, right? When it comes down to Friday, we do have Absolute Zero and Team Stallions that went up against one another. In fact, both of the elimination matches right at the start of the day was a 2-0 victory, right? So with Team Stallions moving on to the next and Kingdom Esports moving on to the next. They then fought against with one another in the same day, which in the end would drop Kingdom Esports in the lower brackets and Team Stallions at the lower brackets, which we saw yesterday.
Yep. And of course, we've got the Kingdom Esports going up against Stallion on Saturday. That's a 3-2. That was a very, very tight match. I love that series as well. And then after that, we've also watched Flash SG going up against Team Evil. So coming up next later on, which is the very up next match, it's going to be Team Evil going up against Kingdom Esports. However, if you take a look at this whole graphic here, you can kind of like sense the power rankings just a little bit, right? Team Evil 2-0 against Team Stallions, and then Team Stallions SG going up against Kingdom Esports 3-2. So technically speaking, Kingdom Esports in terms of power ranking, Team Evil and Kingdom Esports on paper should not be too far off.
Indeed. So ultimately, I would definitely say that for the side of Evil as well as, Kingdom Esports, both
That's
of
right.
them, they are definitely wanting to vie for the championship title. Evil is hungry, right? They were all the way at the top until they got beaten down by, of course, Team Flash Singapore themselves. They vie for revenge.
Yep.
For the meantime, Kingdom, they pretty much is the, what do you say again? The hungry wolf at the bottom of the hill or something like that? Wait, no, that was Churros that said that.
Yeah, I'm sorry, I'm not really a
You're not
person
really a
of wise
wolf guy.
words. I'm not a person of wise words. But what I can say from this particular graphic that you're seeing, you're looking at the final three right here, Team Evil, Team Flash, and also Kingdom Esports, right? These three teams, especially I would say for the side of Team Flash and also Kingdom Esports, they have a very shaky start during the regular season, but I'm really glad what I'm seeing when it comes to the Team Flash and also Kingdom Esports after their whole after the kind of the break between the regular season and the playoffs. But on the other hand, what I saw from Team Evil and Team Flash yesterday, Team Evil, I will feel that they're a little bit shaky, right? Because it is not their MO to basically, lose out, especially against Team Flash, because, they were so strong during the regular season.
Especially since regular seasons itself, there were information and statistics that showed that they trumped over Team Flash, which gave a lot of people, inclusive of Evil themselves, some great power and such. But let's take a look at Evil's lineup.
And this is the lineup for the side of Team Evil. Gear, Aether, Sailor, Ven, and Powerful. Solid performance during the regular season. However, during the transfer window, we introduced the coach Bitoy. And now, introducing something like a key member during the transfer window, I think is a little bit eye-opening in a sense, because the coaches usually need to do a lot of catch-up work, especially you miss out the whole regular season, you don't know how the play style is. There's a lot of catch-up that Coach Bitoy has to do, and going into the playoffs, you can see the performance start to perform a little bit shaky, because in my opinion, Ven performs so much better as a regular marksman. His grandeurs, his hammer is so solid, and the past few games that we saw yesterday, he's forced to play heroes that he's not very comfortable with, especially fighter side lanes.
So you would believe that when it comes down to their games yesterday, something that they can bring back home is more about the drafting sense of Evil. So hopefully that coming into today's games going up against Kingdom Esports, they would make some changes in order to further accommodate for one another. And I do want to look out for how Ven is going to play out and what kind of heroes is going to be drafted for him. But on the other side, I'm pretty sure that they are no strangers to you guys, but regardless, let's take a look at what Kingdom Esports is.
And this Kingdom Esports that you're looking at right here on screen. Jinsanity, Yawn, FMM, Ground, and Lozy. Lozy, technically speaking, I would say, Churros and I like to call them the Lozy, the fortune cat, because he's always been in winning teams all throughout, even if he's on playing actively or not. However, his experience, his knowledge of the game brings a lot of things into what Kingdom Esports does, right? Because in my opinion, Kingdom Esports, because of how Yawn is in the whole roster stack right here, he's a very momentum-driven kind of player. When he plays well, he outperforms, I would say, the best Singaporean jungler in MPL Singapore.
But on the flip side as well, as I would say that Yon is a generally passionate player, so he is very dedicated to his role and dedicated to his team. The moment that something doesn't go very well, it goes awry, he tends to take it very personally, and we tend to see that in his gameplay as well, which is something that I think that really needs to see, or rather the difference has to be made in the side of Kingdom. The moment that we see any semblance of tilt, or in some sense passion-driven changes, his gameplay will start to tank.
Yeah, so now it boils to the question, do you prefer a player that's consistent, or do you prefer a player that's explosive? And it makes you feel like, every time when you feud Yawn or be it these kind of players on the scene, it feels like a gamble all of a sudden.
It is a gamble, but sometimes, some people will go around and say, go big or go home. Sometimes you need to get extremely lucky, or maybe you need to be extremely good in order to best.
You got to talk about this team head-to-head right here. If you compare these two stats side by side, there's so much turrets that Kingdom Esports was able to achieve, so much more turtles they did achieve as well, and even Total Lord.
They played more games though, let's remember that.
Correct, so that's why, but in terms of average kills, they are almost equal, so which means that Team Evo is a lot more, I would say, kill hungry and also more efficient regarding these games. Imagine how, with lesser games, you're still able to achieve almost average amount of KDA, the same amount of KDA, and you play lesser games. So which means Team Evo always usually, this is literally what we call the magic of team fights, right? Go in, kill somebody, trade objectives immediately.
We always have to remember about that Evo magic that you were talking about. Evo, they thrive in the chaos of micro-mechanics within of team fights. And that doesn't mean that they abandon any semblance of macro. They still have some macro game in them, and they will look for an opportunity to be able to whip them out. Sometimes you will start to see Aether going off tangent and going to opposite lanes of the Lord to apply some of these pressure. But we need to also remember it is very case-by-case basis when it comes down to draft. If we're talking about, for example, Yi Sun-shin, the only marksman in the team, don't expect that Yi Sun-shin to be split pushing.
Yeah, I think I remember discussing with this with Churros yesterday, how gold laners is a little bit of a interesting position. If you take a look at how Van, out of the 18 games that he played 13 different heroes, and that's because he has to play both marksmen and also fighters as well. Some of the fighters that he played includes one of his signature Cho, but however, the way that he's been playing his fighter side lanes, you expect him to rotate immediately after, winning the lane or wave clearing. He wasn't able to do so, right? He was mostly staying in the gold lane most of the time, playing like your traditional gold laners where I want to get as much farm as possible and then start winning the fights late. However, if you want to view this kind of fighter side lanes, you really need to start rotating early. So I would say that was the kind of quick summary what happened yesterday. That's where Team Evil kind of faltered just a little bit.
This is also kind of interesting considering the fact that Evil wants to capitalize in early stages. And whenever it comes down to fighter side lanes, that is exactly what they want to do, right? That is the game plan. You pop off a lot earlier. You are not required to stay in lane. Only time you need to be in lane is just to defend your standing objective.
That's right.
And then immediately, kind of get out of the lane.
Yeah, we're going to go straight into the annual map change. Well, technically the random map draw. Yesterday we were seeing a lot of flying clouds. We want to see something different. There you go. We'll start off the day with broken walls for our map for our very first game.
So, with broken walls, it generally makes objectives, neutral objectives, a lot more pain in the arse to work with, right? there is more ways to reset the Lords and more ways to reset the Turtles. As such, the Lord's dance and perhaps even the Turtle dance can generally last a lot longer than normal, so you would more or less expect only 2 turtles per game, and on average maybe 2.5 turtles, right? So we would generally start to think that, okay, Lord fight will happen a lot earlier, the first Lord generally will come in a lot earlier, which means that snowball potential could be the main difference here.
Yep, I think these map changes really encourage, your fighter side lanes to really start rotating earlier, right? Like, we want to see more rotations early off the bat, especially with broken walls. You get to sneak in from the other side. Usually, that's where the walls is being built, and we also start to see a certain trend that most of the teams these days, even though with broken walls, they pick a lot of Grok. Yesterday, I would say it's almost 100% pick ban rate for Grok as well. So, and this is a hero that both Lowsy and Powerful can play as well.
So understandably, right off the bat, we do have very expected bans, right? Lancelot, Hayabusa. In fact, actually having these 2 banned out is a huge respect over to Yon, right? They are basically saying we don't want to see you playing any of these, while completely foregoing some of the other heroes such as the Angela, Baxia, Yi Sun-Shin, which in this case, Baxia and Yi Sun-Shin already taken out by KE. That baton is thrown over to KE.
Yep. But if you take a look at the jungle pool, right, it's really getting slowly diminished, right? You've got the Lancelot, you got Hayabusa, the Baxia, and the Yi Sun-Shin. What's next is probably like the Fredgens coming back. You may probably even see the likes of your what's it called, the Joy coming back for the side of Aether.
So not only the fact that we're slimming down the jungle pool, and just because there's more jungles going up into the ban pool, that means that a lot of the fighters and the tank heroes are actually going to be up online and available for the picking. With CC being one of the most used hero nowadays due to her natural lane dominance. And let's not forget, team fight base Chip is currently available too.
Yep, if you take a look, CC is a solid opener for the side Team Evo. Yesterday when Team Flash fought against Team Evo, CC was permaban. And if you notice, after that, Team Evo wasn't having really good games. So I think that's something that Team Flash has done their homework. Not too sure about Kingdom Esports. So Kingdom Esports, on the other hand, selected Akimi for side of FMM and also the Gato Kancha. Once again, Gato Kancha should go into the hands of Lowsy. The AOG is permanently a very scary ultimate.
So this will also discourage Evil to play any form of heroes such as the Farsa or perhaps the Yi. But they still went in for the Yi and doubled down with a Grok to their midst.
Yeah, so it's back to team fight composition, right? There's a slight pick-off with the CC, but then again, you can also tilt this clash comp for the side of Team Evil to use the real world manipulation to catch any person from the side of Kingdom Esports. However, the best part about the Eve is that you're also immune to CC when the AOG lands on top of you. Your real world manipulation does again deactivate, but the box still gets to basically lock people down as they try to enter and save people.
So a bit of aerial denial still for Evil. But with the CC in play, that doesn't necessarily mean that. However, the CC can always be flexed over to the gold lane. So we shouldn't exactly be, kind of fixated on that part. With the Esmeralda pick from Kingdom Esports, that is a lot of vagueness coming in from both teams' draft, which I absolutely like, because now jungle heroes not picked out at all. There are 4 ban slots that can attribute to more jungle bans, which is actually kind of scary.
Yeah, this is definitely going to help Kingdom Esports a lot more, right? Even if you start locking down on all these junglers, Kingdom Esports is going to come out from the draft with 1 more pick. So technically speaking, I'm very certain that Kingdom Esports will select their junglers right there, unless they want to see what Team Evo wants to go for, right? Right now, there's also another possibility where Kingdom Esports is thinking, hey, Ven is also start looking at all these fighter jungles, like the Cho can get removed as well. The CC, like what you mentioned, may get shifted over the side of the gold lane. That's why Kingdom Esports went for the ban on the Arlo as Team Evo continues to trim down the jungle pool.
Fanny, Arlot says goodbye. Some of the other junglers, okay, maybe we don't talk too much about junglers, because right now, yes, both of them required. Mage out, Roam out. We're left with either XP or gold, which pretty much attributes to any form of fighter junglers. With Ruby and Lapu Lapu that's currently still available as well, I think that is something that we gotta have to look out for. Jungler bans are a lot easier to pinpoint because is really an either-or situation here. Both teams could really have assassin junglers for their side, especially since for the side of KE, they do have pretty beefy front lines already. They can actually take things back a little bit more.
That's Bruto getting taken down. Kingdom Esports not really going to continue to trim down the jungle pool. Instead, like what I mentioned, they're gonna even take out, they're basically focusing mostly on Ven, right? Making sure that Ven doesn't really have a good game. The Bruto was something of a very interesting ban coming up from the side of Kingdom Esports. I wasn't expecting that one because I was expecting maybe a Harif ban, but I think Kingdom Esports actually baiting Team Evo into that because they've already got an Esmeralda in, so they're not afraid of the Harif.
As such, the R4 pick towards the side of Kingdom, the way that they have right now is not a telltale sign for anything. They can definitely play more Air Denial per se. Phobius is currently still available as well if they want to buy a bit of time per se in order to really enable their jungler, +1 junglers or so on or along those lines, but they will lack a lot of damage. So in my honest opinion, probably just work along with a marksman at this point. Is Granger still available? Yeah. So yeah. I would personally say just go out for the Granger. Yep,
Granger's perfect for the side of Kingdom Esports. Like what I mentioned to Death, right? Granger and also Kimi is a solid warm-up combo together. So right now, Kingdom Esports, this is hinting towards a Uranus jungle that we saw yesterday. And I think that's also did quite well for the side of Yon, right? As a Uranus jungle. It's like, let me just double check on that stat as well.
Okay, so while he gets onto that, this kind of throws Evil a little bit off guard as they currently have no idea what the next pick is going to be. Is it going to be a marksman? Is it going to be a jungler?
See value?
You see value in me? Yeah. But the Granger will be picked up for the side of Evil. I do like this composition. There is a lot of ways that they will be able to funnel the gold over to the side of Granger in order to get themselves the snowball potential that they really wanted.
Yep, Uranus actually played by Yon yesterday in a game against Stallions, and they won with this particular strat. Uranus is so annoying, especially in this particular patch. You can just do a lot of damage to him, and then he'll just laugh it off. And basically, he acts like a secondary Lozy, right? Lozy always likes to go in, baits all the utilities out, and then after that get laugh as he AOGs out of there or AOGs in as a way to engage. And now this also opens up on a lot of opportunity for FMM to do a lot of damage with the Kimi, but I think they're running low on damage. They need to find something else, perhaps like this.
So this is good. The moment that we kind of see a situation where there is both Esmeralda and the Uranus, it's very difficult for you to say that, okay, one's going gold, one is going gold, one is going XP. The reason is also because of the fact that if you have both of these in the side lanes, then who are you realistically creating that zoning potential in the early stages of the game for? And Kimi is not a hero that you would want to funnel your gold into. So with the Uranus in the jungle, you create so much space in the early stages, it enables your gold laner, whoever that is, to travel all across the map, top, middle, bottom, to funnel all this gold. So this game is all about map denial, lane denial, and river control.
Yeah, if you talk about river control, Kingdom Esports definitely has a better time at that because of the Gatakacha AOG could go there anytime very quickly. Esmeralda with the bonus movement speed and the Uranus can also hard gang very easily. However, Team Evil, I'm looking at this roster. If you don't burst down the Uranus quickly, the Uranus is just gonna take all your utilities and get out there, and all of a sudden Team Evo is running low on its team, and then all of a sudden, Kingdom Esports could also re-engage very easily and basically take advantage on the cooldowns of the enemy.
So with that all said and done, ladies and gentlemen, we are jumping right in over to the land of Dawn with Evil onto the blue side, and of course, Kingdom Esports onto the red side, both of which are gonna be starting it off over at their purple buff, which is going to go onto the opposite direction at the end of the jungle rotation.
Symmetrical clear coming up from both of these two teams. Uranus seems like he's the one that left the purple buff first. We talk about the mid lane, how they're going to be able to rotate even faster. I would say, looking at what we're seeing right here, both these two teams can clear very fast. And what we talked about earlier just now, they want to get river control as quickly as possible. Kingdom Esports should be more Seems like they're more active around the map because of the fact that we got solid AOGs. Even a spear of destruction could always easily land onto the turtle, and all of a sudden you find yourself at a 5v4 during the first turtle.
So the good thing is that Kingdom Esports actually do have got a pretty good lineup that can go for cross-map plays, while Evil don't particularly have. Evil's gameplay and game style is a lot of front to back, and they want to play for team fights. This is a very micro-intensive team composition without the need of high mechanics. So it's a lot easier to pull off. Instant gratification when it comes down to initiation from Powerful, follow-up from Aether, as well as Sailor. Evil's lineup can fare very well.
Oh, speaking of which, it's gonna be Esmeralda getting torn up just a little bit. Insanity will be able to limp away, even burns the Purify right off the bat.
It doesn't seem like things from either team is gonna get an early payoff just in time, at least for now, right? But we gotta talk a little bit more about lane priority. CC always is gonna trump in the lane, while in the meantime, in the gold lane, it will always be kind of like a skill matchup between a Moskov as well as a Granger. Both of them are very linear.
Looking around, but it's gonna be Aether picking up the turtle right off the bat. Sailor goes into real world manipulation. Yon getting torn up just a little bit. He tries to limp away, but Aether will be able to catch on to him. And now with a tectonic charge, unlocked by the right side of Powerful, he slams FMM to the wall. And he's still inside the fight. The members from the side, Kingdom Esports, not enough damage. And even with the traction pulse, it's not good enough, Abstract.
Oh man, right in the middle of a team fight, that's not exactly what you want to. Or in the middle of a team fight, having a pause is like the worst case scenario ever. But to be fair, it's almost to the end of the team fight anyways.
Yeah, I mean, it feels like, getting pulled out right out of the Matrix prematurely. Wait, do kids even know what Matrix is? No. They probably know John Wick. Keanu Reeves. Yeah. We just revealed our age, ladies and gents.
Mostly yours, for now.
We're same age.
Shut up.
Anyways, it's very premature, but from that sequence that you saw, it seems like, what we mentioned about Kingdom Esports running out of steam just a little bit in terms of the damage department right there. Even though, yes, they do have a Kimi from the side of FMM that's actually tagging on to these damage, but Evil has a lot more damage in their kit, right? Like, especially from the side of CC, the side of Sailor as well, on the Yim, that box was so well placed and it also controlled. And, once the turtle gets taken down, Tectonic Charge gets unlocked, they follow up with another kill. It is a very, very aggressive team composition that Team Evil has fielded out. And this is what we call the Team Evil magic.
Now, on the other hand, right, looking at Kingdom Esports lineup, the way that they kind of want to play into team fights, it is actually also more front to back due to the fact that they do have a Moskov. They focus on the front and then slowly bleeds over to the back. The good thing about them is that they do have got good amount of splash, or what I would like to call AoE, right? In this case, because of the Gato Kacha, Esmeralda, Uranus, they are more of a divey component where they can pretty much capture everyone in its true essence by doing whatever AoE effects that they can. The only weakness about this draft is the fact that they do not have a proper anchor right next to Kimi or Moskov. With both of these marksmen having a slightly shorter range, it actually puts them a lot closer to the enemies, which means that whoever that can jump, in this case Grok and CC, actually Fredrin as well, they actually have a lot easier access to the backline, which kind of creates a little bit of a split between the front lines of Kingdom Esports and the back lines of Kingdom Esports.
Yep. After the dust has settled, yes, it is Team Evil that picks up the first turtle of now. That's actually a really good sign for the side of Team Evil. It's going to help, Sailor, or even to a certain extent Aether on this refreshing to really escalate out of control. And now Kingdom on the other side, they really have to try another way right here, because this is a very dive-heavy team composition, right? Like what you mentioned, if the Kimi or even Grunt is unable to find a very good position to output the damage, Kingdom Esports is going to repeat the same thing that happened for the side of team for the first turtle.
So it is very, very, very slow-paced game right off the bat.
Yep.
But we do have the turtle that will be available again very soon. But we need to remember that Evil does have the first turtle, which is going to help them a tad little bit. But that is only a 1,000 gold lead with a 1-for-1 trade at least for now.
Yeah, it feels like, hold on a second, that's a lot of damage that absorbed by the side of Gear. Pops the Vengeance right off the bat, but CC can generally hold very well in lane for himself as we look at a second turtle spawn for this game.
So at this point, top lane.
Tectonic charge right onto Lozy. AOG unable to get landed because Aether is knocking him up, and now Kingdom Esports will go into their starter fight in a deficit.
As now Aether continues to put down more of these impact onto Yon. It is a jungle versus jungle situation, and of course, Aether, level 7, would win in the 50-50 if they continue with this.
Yeah, also joining the fight right here. Members with the side, Team Evo still able to secure the turtle for themselves. Kingdom Esports losing Lozy right there is not exactly ideal. AOG will be able to attack onto Aether. Aether knocks Lozy up. No follow-up side, Kingdom Esports. Team Evo gets off scot-free.
As we slowly move on, with two of the turtle for the side of Evil, this is the advantage that we want to see coming in from Evil.
Nice Spear of Destruction and Misery as well. Van tried to cut out just a little bit powerful, using the wall to push Grunt off slightly, saving the gold lane. Also, Van is still A-OK for now.
As so, both of the roamers, or rather, both of the gold laners, they are actually a lot more slower than we would expect. They need time to eventually be able to pop up, and with the amount of zonal tool that Evil have, and of course with the 2,000 gold lead that they have, it is going towards the favor of Van a lot more. This would enable Van to farm in the top lanes and the middle lanes very effectively if Evil gonna make sure that they zone Kingdom away.
Lozy getting stunned up just a little bit more. FMM outputting the damage, but it seems like Powerful is slightly unfazed. That's a Sky Piercer already built for the side of Ven.
With very quick amounts of damage right through the middle lane creep wave. That is the mid lane priority that we want right off the bat. But it is a Kimi plus Grok after all.
Yep.
They can clear fast, but it is also not... Yeeve plus Grok, right? Yeeve plus Grok is pretty fast actually, but there is a gutter catch on the opposite side.
Aether stepping forward just a little bit, the Spear, Misery, and using the SOD.
Oh.
What an outplay coming off the side of Grant.
Very good outplay, and in this case, Lozy finds himself top spot.
Immediately getting blocked by the wall as well. Yo, stepping forward just a little bit. Kimi in a very good position. Aether getting melted down. That's a tectonic charge coming out for the side. A powerful Yarn getting slow, immobilized. Sailor lands on fire from the sky. Lozy following soon. Sailor picking up a double kill.
This is a lot of fightings that's going on in the gold lane. What we would have originally expected is more of these rotations to go down to the bottom lane. However, it is also always because of these neutral objectives that constantly popping off into the gold lane. So this is incentivized for Evil to make their way to the northern side. And this also allows Van to pick up a couple of these assists, which should put him at least 1,000 gold ahead of Grant.
Easy turtle coming off inside of Team Evo. 3 turtles in their pocket. This is going to allow Team Evo to escalate out of control. Speaking about snowballing, Aether, and also powerful, a death ball from the side of Team Evo. Kingdom Esports unable to hold them down.
The rest of the members from Evil, they managed to find themselves a little bit of a retreat. But the main thing is they want to ensure that they are in a capable fight or a good enough fight. They managed to bring down the T1 turret up to the top lane and would generally want to look at the middle lane in order to really enable this Granger with unlimited resources.
Yep, the wall being built by the side of Powerful. Jinsana takes some pot shots from the side of Ven. This is not looking good for the side of Kingdom Esports. Seems like they really need to try and unlock Grant as quickly as possible, but Team Evo is not letting up steam. Elozy, AOG lands where he stands, but this time around it's going to be Gear getting melted down by the side of Kingdom Esports.
As such, it kind of seems as though that the Uranus play, or rather what Uranus is looking out for, the way that they drafted Uranus is not gonna work out at all, right? Because what we want to see from Uranus is that he's just constantly proxying the lane, pushing everyone else away, and just make sure that no one will be able to get through the river line.
Lozy, there's no way for him to run right there. There's another free Sky Piercer stack delivered into the plate of Ven, and this is exactly what I want to see from the side team Team Evil, identifying that Ven is so much comfortable using these marksmen, and he's going to scale out of control. Kingdom Esports, on the other hand, they need to slow down just a little bit. The insurance policy lies in the hand of Grand. Grand needs to farm as quickly as possible, Abstract.
Is a tall order. It's an extremely tall order in order for Grant to get all of that kind of farm that we're talking about. He needs at least 12, 13 minutes if they are completely neck and neck with Evil. But now that they are 4,000 down, on the natural curve of a normal game, I would say that Kingdom Esports should at least be 24,000 gold or 25,000 gold. But not in this case. There needs some time for Kingdom to pop off. Now, we already have the Lord available. This is Evil's priority. The enmity is going towards the Evil, and it does seem like Evil really wants to do something here.
Catching on to gear right here. Real world manipulation zones out the rest of the member for the side. Kingdom Esports, AOG for the side. Lozy already committed for the side. Let's just get on the way as Evil takes out the Lord for himself. No escape and also no response coming out of Kingdom Esports apart from that bot lane instead.
That is the cross-map play that I'm talking about from the side of Kingdom. They are a team that can play that, and this is a natural counter to what Evil always want to do, to play as 5. And the moment that Kingdom does that, Evil is forced to either, number one, split up or find valuable trades. In this case, what Evil will want to go for is to go for Lord advantage. Even though they lost the bottom lane 2 turrets, it's okay because they still have the middle lane T1. With this Lord, this would almost guarantee a possibility of bringing down the T1 in the middle lane, which will further flush Kingdom into their own base, giving them access.
Whoa! What's the damage? Aether!
Red team turret has been destroyed.
Okay, I did not see that coming at all.
I've never seen...
Hot damn!
He just bonked out of existence.
Look, I'm pretty sure the FMM did not expect that as well.
I also did not expect that kind of damage coming off of Aether. And that's not what, half Grey health?
Look, this just kind of shows how much fatter Aether is.
Oh my goodness me, if Aether can bonk FMM out of existence, Yon cannot definitely survive that onslaught as the siege from the side Team Evil is there, and they will be able to penetrate into Kingdom Esports. Grand, the spear of destruction. No, he doesn't really dare to take that as Aether gets melted down just a little bit by the side of FMM, and Evil will get out of there.
From this point on, FMM will have forever the PTSD of at least a half HP Fredrin. We don't want to see that. You make a sound, but that is clearly not a... It's a bonk. It's not just a bonk. Man. That is a Viking scream right there.
I wasn't expecting that kind of damage from the Appraiser's Craft, and I don't think FMM is ready for that one. But man, that's really scary. As you know, I'm not looking forward to be the receiving end from that one.
Honestly, when that happens, all I can think about is Sparta. Can you imagine the scream?
The kick. This is Sparta kicks you off into the hole. Yeah, another movie reference and to show our age, Abstract.
Shut up.
Anyways, right now Kingdom Esports does have a leaky hole up over the top, and now it's all about this Lord fight around in the next 30 seconds.
As such, 8-2 with a total of 8,000 gold lead in favor for Evil. This is not going to be a great front for Kingdom. They are lacking quite a lot. If you take a look at Moskov, 3 items, not too bad.
Not too shabby either.
He can't deal with front lines.
Right now, FMM, oh powerful, knocking up Yon right here. Lozy comes with the AOG right in the middle of the werewolf manipulation there, picking up stacks like it's John Wick as he just ignores the law right there. Powerful slamming Insanity, no way for him to run. Another stack for the side of Ven.
And now Moskov is still split pushing, so he needs to find an answer with this. Go back home and continue.
I think he really has to back off because Grant needs to try to go back for the defense. There's no evil land. Grant is the only one left, and as the minutes penetrating into as Team Evil just finishing up, cleaning up shop against Kingdom Esports. Hey, wipeout for Team Evil.
A noble sacrifice coming in from side of Grant. He needed to really sacrifice himself in order to send all of that creep waves back home. If not for the sacrifice, that would have been game over right there.
But that sacrifice means that you literally give another stack over to Ven. Ven is 6-0-4. His stacks, what, 40 stacks by now?
Probably at this point in time. He did have quite a bit of kills right off the bat. Actually, no, he had a lot of assists right at the start of the game. So with that early 0-0-3 by I think about 5 minutes, it's fair to say that he would have got a Sky Piercer during the first kill. So best case scenario, 60.
Yep, Ben picking up the War Axe already is going to be able to look for a lot more sustain in these fights. Now the core unable to heal up just in the middle of time, and now it's all about the team fight. The Lord being led in by the side of Team Evil, FMM and Lozy focusing on the wave clear. AOG to Zone will be able to catch onto Aether. Goes into Revitalize as well, and also the Traction Powers, and then guns down Lozy, guns down Yon, and the core looks juicy as Team Evil takes game number 1.
A very decisive victory going over to the hands of Evil, ending the game way earlier than we would have originally expected. What a great start to Evil. This is a great morning for them.
Yeah, man, like, well, technically it's already the afternoon in Singapore. It's 12:30-ish, round up just a little bit. But man, I would like to see that bonk again. As if you play Fredgen a lot, you feel very good just watching that sequence.
I would say so, yeah. That is a... Once again, that is not just a bonk.
It's a bonk.
It was not a bonk.
I mean, bonked out of existence. That is a very worthy frame to be put above your bed.
Bonk out of existence.
Yeah.
And then the existence is kind of cropped out of the picture because that is out of existence, right?
True.
Right?
You show
Think out of the box.
Yeah, think out the real world manipulation box, yeah?
I guess so.
I think that's basically the key of the game for that particular round, because it is Team Evil that's trapping Kingdom Esports inside the box. They're unable to maneuver outside the box. They need to think around the box, and they're not able to find these fights because it's just, you know, Team Evil setting up these boxes very well, Grok to follow up, and then after that it's just, you know, a Fredgen bonks people out of existence.
Unfortunately, I would say that as much as they would want to think about team fights and how they would want to navigate around the team fights, I think that is more thinking about one step ahead. Because the way that their composition is drafted is that they want to be able to have significant impact all the way from the start of the game. With a Uranus, they can't do they can't do that much in team fights.
Yeah, MVP, well deserved for that bonk. Man, I want to see that clip again during the break because I think it's really satisfying to watch. It's like, you know, when you're scrolling through Instagram and you have these things like people just like scraping off soap while they tell you something, that can be on repeat and I can learn something from it.
I suppose so. I just didn't really quite expect it that Fredgen will have that kind of bonk damage. Oh man, I'm calling it bonk too now.
Yeah, it's a bonk.
Yeah, we'll take that, right? So early into the game, right? But back to the topic of what I would talk about the Uranus. Uranus takes time to eventually pop up. And Uranus really needs Radiant stacks to upkeep with the amount of regeneration and healing. Otherwise, you'll always need to use your consecration before team fight happens, just so that you can build up on those stacks. And unfortunately, that is not optimal. What you would want out of your consecration is to use it mid-battle so that you can weave in, or rather weave out and in to the battles again within a very short span of time. So that is my only qualm when it comes down to a Uranus, but that is just secondary. The primary role of Uranus is zoning and playing for the map, which Kingdom couldn't.
Yeah, because Kingdom Esports, once they found out they're really running out on steam, they really cannot keep up the sustain and the early game damage, right? Because Team Evil was just too far ahead, right? Using gear, especially with the CC, you got a lane bully, you have a natural weak lane in down the AXP lane, and then after that you got a Grandeur. So basically what Team Evil just did is that they are able to secure two strong side lanes for themselves, and in the mid lane they are able to wave clear fast to match up with Kingdom Esports, and they get, you know, dips in rotating first.
So ultimately, with all this information that we have on hand, with a lot of these kills and assists from the side of Evil, Kingdom Esports have only managed to get a total of 2 kills, 1 to Drinsanity and 1 to Yon. It makes sense for them to have these, but ultimately, it is about the early stage, or rather, the early game damage. They lack that.
Yeah, immediately you can see, right, from the stats in the turtle takedown, Team Evil was the one that secures all 3 turtles and also 2 lords for them. That's just total map dominance from the get-go. And if you notice, that's like, what, a 13 kill deficit, right? Team Evo is just escalated out of control. Kingdom Esports unable to hold.
So if we were to change the lineup a little bit, or honestly, I think that this is kind of tough because the Kimi and the Gata Gacha is always going to be a very standard staple pick. It's always good for R1 and R2s. They want to play late game with the amount of zoning potential that they could do with the Uranus. So ultimately, if they wanted to flex the Uranus into the jungle, it would have been better to just remove the Esmeralda so that they can bring some other damagey XP laners right off the bat.
I would feel that Esmeralda actually does quite a decent amount of damage. Just take a look, 98k damage, 98k damage taken, yes, 21k damage dealt. Actually, in fact, did more damage as compared to the gold laner, right? That's one point. I think the second point that if you really want to shake things up on the side of Kingdom Esports, you trade that Uranus for an Xbox. The Xbox does exactly what the Uranus does, zone denial, more bursty damage, burns down Aether with the true percentage damage, and also zones out Sailor as well. So I think personally, you can go for that one from the side of Kingdom Esports, because in the early game, they're really lacking in damage.
I think that they both have have certain amount of similarities, but the main difference is the fact that one is long form and one is short form. Uranus is more of long-form zoning that creates space throughout the map, mostly through the river lines, while Xbox is short-form zoning, which is mostly onto neutral objective.
So you're comparing long-form content on YouTube, 30 minutes kind of content, as compared to a short-form TikTok content. I think the TikTok content does work a lot more better, especially when you're trying to scale up in the early game. You need something very quick.
Yeah, they do. So if they want to play long-form zoning, they need more damage in the early stages. Otherwise, short-form zoning is totally fine if they want to play towards team fights.
Yeah, I think Uranus is a interesting jungle, like 1 or 2 patches ago, until they released a hot fix that kind of nerfed the Uranus damage.
The ionic discs.
A little bit, right? But then, you know, you can see what the Uranus is trying to do, right? Zone and trying to push the real world manipulation out. Try to push the Eve out of real world manipulation. I remember before they kind of patched that Uranus, I remember I saw like what Uranus just 2-hit the Eve and it's just like immediately half HP.
It's kind of scary, yeah.
It is, but unfortunately that thing got nerfed already.
Yeah, it was too good. Back then, Uranus in the jungle was... In fact, right, the funny thing is, I think that Uranus in the jungle back then, before the Radiant stacks, before the fact that Radiant stacks could influence the amount of damage your Ionic Disc does, right? That is the current patch. It's actually weaker than the previous Uranus, where your Ionic Discs actually stacks onto the opponents that you hit. It's got completely no regards to your Radiant stacks. So you actually can wave clear, or rather you actually can clear these creep waves a lot faster without relying on your Radiant stacks at all.
Yep, Uranus right now, based on this particular patch, is mostly on auto attacks. The Radiant stack actually boosts the auto attack damage for the Uranus. That's why target prioritization is a lot more important for the side of Uranus. And now the problem is, even if you take a look at Kingdom Esports side of the roster, right? Like the Uranus is there with Ionic Disc to slow everybody down, but who are you slowing this for? What are you slowing this for, right? If the Kimi or if FMM is unable to step forward to basically gun people down, and that's it. And that's why Team Evil was able to take advantage of that, escalate even faster, and then proceed on to just dominate the river. You win 3 turtle fights in a row, and then after that, just scale out of control, because Granger scales faster as compared to a Moskov.
Indeed. I would say that Granger has I think reached critical mass at roughly around... Actually, it's kind of hard to compare, right? Because Granger plays around with snowball potential by killing.
Yep.
The moment that he gets Sky Piercer, he can join in fights and do whatever crazy stuff.
Yep.
While Moskov is on an entirely different beast, he plays for map, and he have really good split push potential in order to create differences and, of course, come up with even traits all across the map.
Yeah, and if you compare Granger and also a Moskov needs like what? 3 items, your Corrosive Scythe, your Demon Hunter Sword, and your Golden Staff. And then even perhaps, I will also argue, based on this current patch, you definitely need the Malefic Gun, right?
Yep.
In order to be able to just output the decent amount, and that's when you say, okay, the Moskov is ready to fight. But for a Granger that's ready to fight, you just need a Fury Hammer. you are more than enough. You're basically outputting so much damage. You have nutty numbers, and also once you hit a Hunter Strike, you build a Sky Piercer and you start stacking on a Sky Piercer stack. That Sky Piercer stacks as you stack up. Basically, is a lot better. Even though imagine it's like you use that Sky Piercer stack for a Sky Piercer for one item slot, it's as good as picking up 2 to 3 items if you manage to stack it over and over again.
I mean, regardless, this is all about draft to a certain extent, and of course the execution of that draft. We find that Evil's lineup is a lot easier to execute.
Yep.
A lot easier to execute as compared to Kingdom Esports, where they have a lot of tough bodies at the front lines, but there are definitely some caveats. So my general question is, how do they want to navigate themselves out of those caveats in game number 2, after knowing that, the way Evil plays is just magic. It's all micro, it's all team fight. I think that there is a possibility that Kingdom Esports will want to go down a certain level just so that they can play team fights easier. The higher mechanic hero that you use, the tougher it is to navigate in a fight. However, it also reaps bigger rewards.
Yeah. Right now, as we go into game number 2, Broken Walls ultimately didn't really matter in terms of the how they want to draw, because once the box is being built, that box is like a wall in itself, and it prevents the members of the side of Kingdom Esports to either reinforce, to continue on the fight, or to even reach that Eve. And I feel like maybe perhaps Kingdom Esports also need to start working on, how to basically maneuver around the fights, right? Because Team Evo was able to find great opportunities using Sailor's Eve to box people up, and his positioning is also very hard for Kingdom Esports to flank.
I think we have a lot more games that we can potentially go. And in fact, this is a situation where Kingdom Esports actually did not play towards their statistics, where Kingdom Esports, they almost always win game 1.
True.
And this time they didn't.
I mean, there's definitely not going to go very well for the side of Kingdom Esports. Remember, we talked about how Kingdom Esports are so momentum-driven, and especially Yon, we started off the day with talking about Yon. Yon needs to get a great game, and Yon using Uranus right off the bat, I think is a little bit wonky. And if you notice as well, Team Evo is literally kicking where he's down, right? Like, look at all the bans from the side of Team Evo. Lancelot Hayabusa as an opening, and then after that, if Kingdom Esports didn't even prioritize Yon at all during the first phase pick, they continue to ban it at Fanny, and then after that, just finish off with the ban with Alice. So it's really wonderful for the side of Team Evo to literally target down Yon.
This is crazy amount of respect over to Yon, but I think that Evil have also identified that Yon is one of the catalysts that enables the early game / the mid game for the team. The moment some of these assassin heroes are taken away, there is a very high probability that they should be able to navigate around team fights a lot easier. However, in the previous game, there is a possibility of bringing Ling out, but that is also a very greedy jungler, which actually doesn't do anything in the previous game regardless.
Yeah, like, I don't think Ling is a really good assassin, especially in this particular patch. He takes so long to ramp up, especially when nowadays games are really getting really short, right? You really need to win games like within the next 6 minutes mark. If you don't get a snowball out of that, Ling generally takes way too long to scale.
So they could, however, play a super early kind of game. Side lanes, fighters, completely funnel everything over to Ling, but that is also kind of like an all-in kind of situation.
Yeah.
Super all-in.
It is really gambling, and I don't like it when you're taking chances like this.
But it's Yon.
I don't like going big, going home. I just want to go home.
Just he wants to stay small and go home. But anyways, let's take a look at the drafting phase right now. We already have the Lancelot and the Hayabusa taken away. Coach Batoy identified all of that. That's goodbye to Yon's powerful comfort hero.
Finally, we see Kingdom Esports takes away the CC like what Team Evo did. That's also going to be a Baxia ban right here.
Full jungle ban.
Yeah. Almost full jungle ban, except for the Grok and also Yutong. And now this is something that Yon can perform quite well. There's going to be Yushin Shin. And, I always, throughout the whole regular season, I'm like, no, Yushin Shin is a very bad hero in this patch.
Oh, yeah, I remember that.
I keep saying that. Yep. But right now, looking at how Yon likes to play, I'm like, yes, boy, you go get this.
you go. Now, with the Yusichin currently picked up, as well as a response with a Gatokacha and Fredrin. The Fredrin actually came in as a little bit of a surprise to me because the opponent's jungle has already been picked out. You have the option to actually pick up a Kimi for yourself. But the thing about Kimi is also because of the fact that you have a pretty weak wave clear in the early stages. It takes time to really ramp up. So right now, both teams, they want to play for team fight. With a Farsa as well as the Yves. Gatokacha drafted for Evil, so they have an answer to Yves. At this point in time, Kingdom have got no answer for the Yves as of yet. Sorry, no answer to the Farsa as of yet.
Yeah, I agree, right? The Farsa could just slam down the feather airstrike. If the Yushishin misplayed or mispositioned, sorry, I was chewing on IT bubbles earlier just now. If you sidestep incorrectly, you're gonna get slapped by the face by the feather airstrike. All of a sudden, your glass cannon of a Yushin is already gone. So it's really up to the timing that Yon enters these fights, and he has to start perhaps like using FMM's real world manipulation, hopefully with the first last insanity to kind of set up the whole fight, but not use that last insanity to basically finish off people.
The night sky tells
Goodbye to
all.
Alice and Esmeralda. Seems like the way that KE has is because of the Xbox and Yves, they want to go full on zone control and all that jazz. Harif sounds like a very viable pick for the side of KE, but they also need to find an answer for the Farsa, as I mentioned before. Some kind of boops. Yuzhong currently is still available. Oh, okay, never mind. It's banned straight off the bat.
Team Evil right here, you know how they're gonna ban, how they ban this away. They ban away the Alice, they ban away the Esmeralda. This is a clear sign Team Evil wants to go for the Harif right here. But okay, I take that back. They're opening up right here. They're gonna go for Uranus.
Uranus XP is good. I find that Uranus XP is good. At least you have a very good way to uphold your Radiant stacks without the need to go to your jungles at all.
Okay.
Team is picking.
Okay, we're gonna go for a Ruby gold lane. Xbox in the EXP, high loss in the roam.
No one can take you from me.
And technically speaking, this is a decent draft coming out from the side Kingdom Esports, right? You've got real world manipulation, you've got good hooks to pull people back, you've got the glorious pathways to slow people down if they are trying to get out of the box. And then you leave it to the Mountain Shocker and the Last Insanity. Finally, this is a good draft coming out from the side of Kingdom Esports. If you take a look at Team Evil right here, that's going to be a Claude for the side of Van to be selected. And finally, we get to see, something more traditional coming out from the side of Team Evil. And that's exactly what I want to see in day number 1. Unable to see that in game day number 2.
So now it's going to be a point in time where the Claude joins in and... this is a pretty late game centric. Evil does have an insurance to the late, while KE wants to play in the early game with a XP fighter, gold lane fighter as well. I would like to believe that KE can play a good early with Evil not having much answers to it. The only problem is the Farsa. If KE allows the Farsa to go ham, then unfortunately Evil will have very good zonal tools.
Yep, so we're gonna load up into game, ladies and gents. This is gonna be a Flying Cloud map. So which means that when you talk about like getting things into position, Kingdom Esports has a lot more resources to really go there, right? Like imagine Flying Cloud in when you're playing a defensive role, you can Flying Cloud right into a good position for the side of Ruby, the high loss, and even to a certain extent the Xbox. So I would say Team Evil, if they go for a solid offense, they also need to really watch out on these crazy maneuvers, especially when you're fighting on the enemy side of the map.
And such, ladies and gentlemen, here we go. We are going to be going into the Land of Dawn once again. Of course, both junglers starting off at the purple buff. Going to be exiting the jungle onto the opposite side. One to the gold, one to the XP. And this generally gives us a very good idea as to what their rotation is going to be and where their priority is going to be at too.
Talk about the wave clear. Sorry, I'm just really chewing on the IT. I'm just enjoying this thing way too much.
Stop it.
Why? It's drinks. Nice drinks to watch the show as well.
Very distracted.
I am. I'm easily distracted, abstract. You know me for years.
Unfortunately, yeah.
Sorry, the bubble just actually almost fell off my mouth.
Okay. Well, anyways, here we go. 1 minute into the game. Let's talk a little bit more about lane priority, Jace.
All right, lane priority in the gold lane. It is going to be a very neutral lane. Van is going to take a long time. So, as you know, your typical fighter gold lanes, you want to start rotating as quickly as possible, especially for the side of Grand. And then after that, you've also got Export going up against Uranus. Export should be able to handle the Uranus really well. And also, in fact, I would say Drinsanity has a lot more priority compared to Gear, but Gear can rotate faster if he ignores the minions.
As we continue to move on as well, it does seem like Evil do have a pretty strong backing within of the river. They are right straight out being kind of aggressive, and the fact that they are poking out Lolzy and putting him down to such a low HP before the turtle even spawns, it actually is a telltale sign that Evil will gain enmity against the against the turtle.
Yep, Sailor is the one that picks up the level 4 first, already on site at the turtle pit. Lolzy, on the other hand, has to go for the law in order, but he's instantly getting melted down. FMN goes into real one manipulation. Yon sneaks away the turtle right underneath Team Evil, and Jinsani continues to burn down Aether. First blood for Kingdom Esports.
There's an expected outcome for the side of Kingdom, with the turtle being slain by Kingdom themselves and even getting a kill for themselves. Evil now is going to be finding themselves behind for a tad bit, with 1,000 gold behind.
Yeah, Team Evil needs more time as compared to Kingdom Esports. That's the power of your side lane fighters, right? And also, the FMM setting up the real one manipulation in a truly astounding manner. It is also Lolzy that takes away the feather airstrike for the side of Sailor, and all of a sudden in that particular team fight, Team Evil ran out of steam first.
Ultimately, the way that Evil wants to play is just jump right in, and it does seem like indeed they will.
You see how Lolzy is just one-track mind, just chasing after Sailor, just trying to deny the feather airstrike out. So Kingdom Esports playing to their winning condition, right? Just push Sailor away from the feather airstrike, and then they win the fight.
So far, we haven't really quite seen Grant got out of the lane just yet. The beauty of fighter gold lanes is that they have superior wave clear. Of course, I mean, going up against the Claude is actually not that superior because of the Blazing Duet at all. But mobility is something that we will want to see. Kingdom Esports have the opportunity to always play as a 4-man composition, and they will always be able to trump over the 3-man composition from the side of Evil.
The best part about a fighter side lane is that you also add on more CCs, right? Usually fighters has a lot more crowd control that really enables Yon to really perform, and I think it's starting to show for the side of Kingdom Esports. Holding on the second Team Evil. Oh, better airstrike from the side of Sailor as well. The members from the side of Kingdom Esports. Lolzy, the main target from the side of Team Evil. Yon stepping forward, the mountain shocker. FMN picks up powerful. The glorious pathway leading the Kingdom Esports to sudden glory as Yon just slides and dies onto Aether. The Bonk guy is gone as Yon picks up a double kill. A snowball starting for the side of Yon.
I think that was a very small mistake from the side of Evil, which eventually gave that snowball potential over to the side of Yon. At one point in time, Aether is just unable to be saved anymore.
Man. When a Yushin Shin starts to have a great game and Yon is starting to feel himself, man, this is really good for the side of Kingdom Esports. However, Team Evil, on the other hand, they really need to try to find a better way. Hope to hunker down as quickly as possible and go for late.
Evil now have to understand how to cut their losses. Aether was not savable at that point in time. Sailor could have made a full-on retreat without poking out the enemies. That way, Sailor would not have suffered a death at that point in time and giving a double. That double actually means quite a lot over to the side of Yon, unless they're trying to, on purpose, build up a bounty over the side of Yon.
Now the shocker lost insanity wombo combo. Yon picks up another kill. That's extremely going well for the side of Yon. Ven, on the other hand, that's not very ideal for a Claude. You don't want to lose your life in the early game, especially this one. You're gonna limit your farm.
This game is going on curve for Kingdom Esports. This is an early game composition that they would want to be able to excel all the way until 12-15 minutes into the game. Their objective is to be able to get at least 5,000 gold lead by 10 minutes. That is the way that they will be able to force Evil in a slower gameplay, at least for the Claude.
Bot lane cracked open for the side of Team Evil already. Kingdom Esports unlocking their fullest potential around the map. Yon is already unlocked. Just take a look. Hunter Strike already secured. If he's already feeling confident about it, he could easily go for a Sky Piercer, but he's going in a little bit safer. Van this time around last insanity. The I'm Offender being used to tag onto Van. Van is struggling to find any form of farm.
This is actually a very interesting goal priority for the side of Evil. Because right now, the XP lane and the gold lane have similar farm. While in this meantime, Sayla is actually tanking quite a bit. He is actually one of the main important player of this team at 7-8 minutes of the game, and he doesn't have a lot of gold to play around to really burst the enemies down.
Right now, Team Evo, they can only focus on this one. They need to focus onto Grant, but Grant is just literally saving and absorbing so much HP. The members for the side of Team Evo just tunnel vision as Grant sidesteps. He tried to outplay Team Evo, but he will not be able to do that as Kingdom Esports will lose Grant, but they secure a top side and also a turtle for themselves.
That actually means quite a lot, considering the fact that 4 members is required to kill Grant, and it is not an instant kill at that.
So many resources being burned out just for one Ruby.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, technically speaking, that's a Ruby gold lane. The only consolation prize for the side Team Evil is that bottom lane takedown, but they lost 2 first-tier turrets.
I think that is still fine. They're trying to get a little bit more out of the map to propel themselves forward. And good thing is, Van is the one that got that kill. I'm not too sure when is Sayla's power spike gonna be, but that could be a possibility that maybe like 2-3 minutes after Sayla have his power spike, that is when Van will have his. So there is a very small gap between Sayla and Van, but that also means that Evil will pop off so much later.
Yeah.
Estimation for Evil to have a fighting chance against Kingdom? Nah, not 12 minutes at this point anymore. At this point, it's 15.
Wow. Yeah, because like, you know, Sayla needs his items, right? And Sayla is if Sayla keeps focusing down on low Z, that's not his main target. His main target is actually Yon. But if Yon goes in with the Mountain Shocker and then just focuses down on Sayla, Sayla is in a whole lot of trouble. Yes, the glowing one is secured by him, but he definitely needs more because FMM is going the mile.
Okay, he's catching up now. The main thing is Sayla is catching up now, and that is the most important thing. We still have most of the farm that is actually credited over to Yon at this moment as we speak.
Law and Order onto powerful AOG. Don't know where he's trying to land there. He's actually landing in the middle of the side of Kingdom Esports. Members with the side of Team Evil try to reinforce, but they have to leave. Powerful to death, giving over the side of Kingdom Esports in a silver platter.
6-1 with a 2.5 thousand goal lead in favor of Kingdom Esports, with the Lord is currently able to be spawned down bottom. We talked about a little bit of that cross-map plays, and that's something that Kingdom Esports doesn't really quite have at this point in time. So they're gonna have to really watch out for the Claude that is farming up to the top lane, trying to go for a little split push, because Evil knows they don't have got a way to contest this Lord.
Yeah, the punching bag for the side of Team Evil for now. Lasting concentration, trying to get on away. I like what Team Evil is trying to do, using Van to really go for the split push right here, and that's probably the best case scenario, right?
And in fact, that is 2 turrets taken down in favor of Evil for that Lord. So now the next priority for Evil is to be able to defend this middle lane T1, which is actually quite a tall order.
The Lord should be going up either on the side lanes or side of Team Evil, right? Kingdom Esports, sorry, Team Evil is literally throwing everything they can, even using the feather airstrike from the side of Sayla to wave clear the mid. The mid needs to stand as long as possible for Team Evil to have a slight fighting chance.
They need their jungle after all. The moment that they lose is their T1 in middle lane, the amount of jungle camps that they can score for themselves dwindle down all-time low.
Lawrence Pathway slowing down Sayla, and also Van, the members from the side Kingdom Esports lay down siege in the mid, but the Lord still rampaging down bot, slowly pillaging the Mountain Shocker. Kingdom Esports, they take down the Bastion for the side of Team Evil, and they're looking at mid once again.
Very good zoning pathway from the side of Longzy.
Love it.
Forces the rest of Evil to move back without the need to really put himself at jeopardy of dying. Because he's literally proxying between two turrets. It will put him in a tough spot if everyone else from Evil decides to jump on him.
The Lord charges down bot, will do a decent chunk of damage on the bot side. Mid lane for the side Team Evil also receive some form of chip damage as well. Grant is holding on to his Iron Offender just a little. Mountain Shocker will activate scouts out everybody, but remember from the side of Kingdom Esports just using all the ultimate to zone, and now they put Team Evil almost on a lockdown back in their base.
All 5 of them is now going to be going on full retreat, but Long catches one.
Catches one. one, but Lozy this time round, powerful. Feather extra from the side, Sailor to up with the sun for the damage. Gear going in, dive with the vengeance, and also the Ionic Blaze trying to slow people down. Real world manipulation from the FMF. We'll be able to just trap members on the side of Team Evil. They should have fight inside the box, and Kingdom Esports wrap them up like a perfect Christmas gift, and they picked up a double kill for themselves.
Before Aether went down, at least he did manage to get a nice little bonk down onto Lolzy. That's something. Yeah, it's a 3-for-2 trade. And to be honest, that 3-for-2 trade is actually a lot favorable for Evil, only if they're able to defend every single one of these inhibitor turrets that they control.
Poly defense should be popped very easily right here. Sailor using the Feather airstrike just to do something right there. But Team Evil bought some time for themselves. Kingdom Esports, on the other hand, they are escalating out of control. Grand already picks up the Demon Wings right now. It's going to have a lot more survivability going into these fights. But that was a very interesting handshake of a team fight coming out from the side of Team Evil.
So remember that I mentioned about 15 minutes. There is still about 3 more minutes until Evil would generally be able to pop off and be a little bit more crazy. Now, we've got Claude already with 3 items. It's good enough for him to deal substantial amount of damage. And in fact, this is the second Lord. They are about 3.4 thousand gold behind only. And remember, I mentioned that by 10 minutes, Kingdom Esports needs 5,000 gold.
Yes.
The fact that Kingdom didn't reach that point in time, that means Evil will have a slightly better curve into the later stages. Instead of 15, I think we're dropping it down to slightly about 14 minutes around there.
Geneva Convention? No, that's just a Geneva suggestion. Drinsanity just open up some of these bushes right there from the side using his flamethrowers, and that's absolutely wonderful for the side of Kingdom Esports as they solidify the position around the Lord Pit Abstract.
As such, we do have the enmity that's currently directed over to the side of Kingdom Esports. Evil comes in, intercepts the Lord, did manage to put the Lord down to lower than half HP, but with a quick little reset, it does seem like the rest of the members of Kingdom Esports, they suffer a little bit with the fact that Gear is right behind of them.
Mount Shaka will review Powerful's positioning. It's not very mysterious anymore, and now Gear stepping forward just a little bit. Not too sure why Kingdom Esports is hesitating right there, because take a look at bot lane is actually leaning in the favor of side of Team Evil. This dance goes even longer. Kingdom Esports really need to stop hesitating.
Gear is creating really good pacing and spacing between him and the enemies. I absolutely love that. It's just pulling Kingdom Esports towards the center a little bit, clear the wave just a tad little bit, and this actually creates a lot more opportunities for Evil to be able to come in between and kind of pincer against Kingdom Esports.
Consecration already up for the side of Gear, already immediately popping that up. Team Evil trying to drag the Lord's attention towards their side of the map so that they have some form of better positioning. By Yon activating Mountain Shocker, looking for a target. Lozy as well, zoning it out. Aether down low just a little bit. Don't forget, this is where his bonk damage is going to be extremely high, but he's saving on, he's holding on to it. Kingdom Esports is not engaging these fights.
All 5 members of Kingdom Esports, they are slowly playing it out, but they don't have a lot of information.
Joris Pathway will lead them all the way to the side of Sailor. Van picking up the Lord for Team Evil. Finds some time for the side of his team, but Sailor losing his life as well. Powerful using the AOG to just get on all the way right there, but it is going to be theft achieved by the side of Team Evil, taking that Lord away from Kingdom Esports.
As much as the fact that Kingdom Esports had a great run in the early stages with the snowball potential that Yon have got, but I think that they didn't really quite manage to push the advantage well enough. As such, with the Lord that's credited over to the side of Evil, and the and the fact that they have a little bit of that Lord advantage, we are entering the 15 minutes mark where Sailor and Van can potentially be able to deal some good damage.
Yeah, and this is the timing that Abstract U identified himself. Aether trying to drag the members from the side of Kingdom Esports. Already committed in the Mountain Shocker right now. Kingdom Esports has to back off and go for the defense instead. Team Evil with this Lord should be able to at least crack up in mid first tier for the side of Kingdom Esports.
Evil will probably be able to apply a bit of their evil magic, especially since it is a defensive role from Kingdom Esports. They do have good zoning potential, but one thing that we definitely have from Kingdom is the fact that they have very good wave clear.
Yeah,
they have a lot of fighters.
Gear is actually picking out quite a decent amount of items for himself. Yon is unable to deal with him. Just take a look. Gear just zones out the Yishin Chin for the side of Yon and push him away. But hold on a second. AOG for the side of Powerful catching on to Lozy for now. Aether will be there in the middle of the fight, trying to dash away, but gets get trapped by the real world manipulation. Sailor goes in the red airstrike as well. Trying to zone. Losey pops to the revitalize, trying to keep his members stay alive just a little bit longer. Is actually able to work it out. But Yon pick up a double kill for himself already as Kingdom Esports repel the evil from the jungle.
Yon made a very big play coming in there, avoiding almost every single artillery strikes that was going towards his side when Sailor popped open with that feathered airstrike.
That's the best case scenario. Thank you, Observer, for pointing that out. The mid lane turret for the side Team Evil is not taken down. So at the very least, Kingdom Esports still have decent amount of real estate to work with. Team Evil once again has to play base defense.
It's kind of scary how Yon managed to avoid every single one of that artillery strikes. It's kind of crazy, especially since that was Sailor's role to play. Kingdom Esports, they drafted this game where they don't exactly have an answer to Evil, but they also, or rather they don't have an answer to that Farsa, but they also identified that the main target of Sailor gotta have to go over to Yon. And I think that Yon have got great confidence in his skills to say that I can dodge and evade every single one of those feathered airstrikes, which is exactly what he did.
Yeah, and don't forget, every time when Yushin dash, he actually gains some form of CC immunity, and now Yon rides the boat. The Mountain Shocker will land. Gear has to try to drag away. The Glorious Pathway slows down the advantage, but Gear getting covered by the side of Sailor's feathered airstrike. Aether stepping forward, but this time around, he's getting gobbled out by the side Kingdom Esports. What the real one manipulation catches onto the Aether, and that was a powerful, and now Team Evil losing too.
That is great news for the side of Kingdom, with 3 members down from the side of Evil. And the fact that there is no jungler. This is essentially going to be a free Lord after getting a push down in the middle and the bottom.
Yeah. And now it's just back to base defense right here. The Lord is up. Team Evil, they are not ready for this. This is Kingdom Esports. This is Kingdom Esports Lord, and they're going to send it down right down to Team Evil's throat, force feeding them with some damage.
We still have to remember that Kingdom Esports, despite how well they're doing with a total of 6,000 gold lead, this amount of lead is starting to get stale. Because 7,000 gold doesn't really mean too much right now, because we are getting diminished returns.
Yeah.
Evil is starting to get more and more money, and economy doesn't matter anymore.
Okay.
And we have a marksman of Claude on Evil.
But it's all up to this base defense, right? The Flying Cloud hopefully, allows Powerful to get into some good positioning. The Lord will rampage down bot instead. Not going to be in the mid. And that's going to be a little bit awkward for the side Team Evil to defend this, right? They have to go down bot, whereas Kingdom Esports could just push up top instead.
So with the total itemizations for the side of Evil, Claude has got everything. With 12,000 gold, he's fully slotted, and we'll look out for his blazing duet.
Yeah, taking a bunch of damage right here. Mountain Shocker also activated for the side Kingdom. Sorry, not yet for now. But it is still just touch and go. Team Evil focusing on wave clearing as much as they can. As the Lord marches down bot, it's a 2-wave synced up for the side Kingdom Esports.
They knew that the Lord definitely will take down the bottom lane, but in the meantime, Van will deal with the Lord as much as possible within the same confines of his lane.
Aether stepping forward this time around, taking too much damage, and also punishment. AOG will be able to land, catches onto Losi and Grand at the same time, but Powerful sacrificing himself as Van stepping forward. He's actually down low just a little bit, holding on to the base the way. He's not even going to use it. Kingdom Esports clears up all the base turrets for the side Team Evil.
I would like to believe that he still have got quite a little speed boost, so he can try to go for something right here if he's really forced that hand.
No more, I don't think. Team Evil losing 2 members is actually very dangerous for the side. Sailor for the airstrike, but Kingdom Esports finishing off Team Evil in game number 2, equalizing the score.
Victory!
It's a trample coming in from Kingdom Esports. They took the power that they have gotten from the early stages. They have beefy front lines that even the Claude could not be able to whittle down. No matter how much of a Demon Hunter sword that he has, no matter how much of the attack speed that he has, no matter what he do, he can't possibly be able to just come in and clear out the fight that easily yet.
There's just too many things that Team Evil needed to do in the later part of the game Kingdom Esports taking a full advantage on, their slow early game momentum, and they push all the way to the end. They deny Team Evil from snowballing, and that's the Kingdom Esports play style in game number 2.
Honestly, this is a really tough game for Evil, despite the fact that their draft actually looked very bright. Towards the later stages, it's already come to the point whereby the clock is already popped off. It's already got a full and maxed out item, and when at that point in time, Sailor still suffering a tad little bit because of the lack of targets. And remember, when it comes down to a artillery mage like Farsa, you gotta have to go for the squishies because you have so little amount of ammunition to work with, and your target gotta have to be a very high octane Yisun Shin.
Yeah, and it's very hard to trap the Yisun Shin, right? Of course, the Feather Airstrike can only do so much, right? You really need Powerful to kind of taunt up with the AOG, or even be it the Fredging with the taunt as well, but Yisun Shin is so slippery to catch, right? And so it's really all given over the side of Yon, but also another honorable mention, in my opinion, FMM picking up the MVP, truly wonderful as well. The real world manipulation just prevents Team Evil from even stepping in to also engage these fights.
So, of course, MVP of the game goes over to the hands of FMM, piloting the Eve with a total of 4:0:10. Not a single death to his name, with a total of 88% kill participation.
Yeah, it's just a beautiful game coming off of Kingdom Esports, and this is the Yon that we want to see in game number 1, right? And this is actually really good, right? Because usually we expect Yon to be like, okay, I'm really strong in the I really need that momentum to keep going on. And it seems like he's able to recover from game number 1. He knows what he needs to do in game number 2, and he just goes and unleash the beast from within.
And ultimately, this entire lineup for Kingdom Esports, they played in the early stages, it worked out great as long as it is a double fighter lead. And coming into the later stages, it is a lot of shred that you can expect to see from Drinsanity with all of that true damage because of all the embers, all the burning that is applied onto Aether, Powerful, and Gear. They had answers to tanky front lines, they had answers to back lines as well, as long as they're able to deal with Aether or Gear or Powerful.
Yeah, and Gear, to a certain extent, he's actually receiving way too much damage. He has to just get out of there because Drinsanity does true damage. FMM could literally burn. Those are your DPS heroes. Yon comes in to basically just save the day, or be it to just making sure that the damage is really truly felt, and also clean up and also up the damage and try to burst down Sailor, right? And you also start to see, Aether unable to perform on this region is because just of the sheer slow amount of slow coming out from the Eve, and also to a certain amount of extent that Xbox was a wonderful counter to what Aether wants to do.
So ultimately, it's pretty fair to say that Evil should have a pretty good amount of damage all across the board from Ven, but it's still, it will still definitely take some time for him to eventually be able to rack them up. So far, though, Uranus have got 0% win rate in this lower bracket finals.
Yeah, it's just, I would say that Uranus, this is not really his patch. I feel like even if you go for a Lapu Lapu this time for the side of Team Evil, that's actually okay, because the Lapu Lapu with the damage reduction does help, and also you're not really, you're kind of impervious to the slows, because every time you slash, you're actually moving forward, you're able to just reach to the real world manipulation, deactivate that, deactivate FMM, also do quite a decent amount of chunk of damage as well, and maybe that's something that of a miscalculation for the side Team Evil, hoping that they're able to out-sustain and outlast to allow Ven to scale into the later parts of the game.
Honestly, they do have a Garukacha. They do have ways to really deal with the Eve, but I think in most situations, they don't have a proper team fight for Powerful to say, okay, I'm going in with the AOG and I'm going to taunt the Eve. Most of the time when he goes for the AOG, is either someone's already dying and they need to retreat to minimize losses, or the fact that it's more about disengage already at that point. They don't have a counter engage, or they don't have a follow-up engage using the AOG into the taunt of the Eve in order to get the fight into the momentum, because they're always playing from behind.
Yep, and with that said, we should be going on a short break so that, allows these two teams to reset. Once again, we're going into a 1-1, and this has been one of the most competitive MPL Singapore season that we have yet so far, right, Abstract? With that said, we're going to go on a short break. Don't go away. We'll be right back with more games between these two teams.
Welcome to MCGG Rising Stars. From September 12th to October 19th, take part in the regional contest, open to all players. Step up and prove your strength.
Division finals will run from October 24 to November 2. The top 16 players in each division may advance to the next stage of MRS. Check your in-game mail for information. The S3 Finals group stage kicks off from November 8 to November 9. The top 6 players from each group will qualify for the S3 Finals semifinals.
The semi-finals will be held on November 15. The highly anticipated grand final arrives on November 16. The champion will earn a direct qualifications for the first MCGG World Championship. The battle is on and the world is watching.
With you once again after a 1:1 series between Kingdom Esports and Evil. We are back at it with another high-octane pacing game and a really sweaty one.
Yeah, I can be your fan.
I will be your fan.
Literally sweaty right here, ladies and gents. Extremely sweaty with this one because it is a 1-1 currently, and you know, it is Team Evo that is kind of slated and also the fan favorites go to the grand finals, but this time round, Kingdom Esports says no and slam the door shut in game number 2. We need to see how they're going to be able to perform in game number 3 though.
Let's be honest here, the games can't get any better from this, right?
Yeah,
it's
definitely.
Always back to back, just kind of one and done, just kind of ping pong back and forth. This is the kind of tension that we are expecting coming from lower bracket finals, where both teams earns an equal amount of right to go over to the grand finals to face off the raid boss, and that is going to be Flash SG.
Yeah, and Flash SG though, I think they're really on form yesterday, right? Lord Vanix really starting to perform, and that's absolutely wonderful. And you know, we also talk about how Van yesterday wasn't really comfortable in his fighter roles. At the very least, he's given like, you know, his Claude, his Granger coming back. I think Claude's a little bit of an interesting pick coming out from the Coach B toy, but hey, gotta have to try it out, and you know, not to be too predictable, especially you're showing off even more games in the lower bracket finals.
To be honest, I still really preferred Evo playing an early game centric kind of composition. Just take Snowball out of control. I feel like they are a team that really understands how to maintain momentum, tempo, and aggression altogether.
Yep.
While in the meantime, I think for Kingdom, they are just generally a team that knows how to, you know, kind of grind the opponent's gears. Be it in team fights or...
I see what you did there.
Oh,
Yeah, I see what you
right.
did there, but continue.
Yeah, but generally, I think that Kingdom Esports, they are pretty annoying when it comes down to the laning phase. They know that, okay, we gotta have to like, take river control, we gotta run here, we wanna run there. And I think that it's all about the initiation that really matters a lot to Kingdom Esports.
Yeah, definitely, right? I think Lozi really outperformed himself in that particular game because, like, you saw how he uses the high loss, right? The glorious pathway to slow people down. You know, on top of the slow from the Eve, you're literally almost stunned and locked inside that real world manipulation. You saw how his glorious pathway being used to cut off the reinforcements or basically slow people down. And now all of a sudden, you know, the rest of the side Team Evil needs to get out of there. If not, they'll lose more of their lives, but they need to forfeit that one turret in the middle. So it's really, I would say that the way that Lozi plays as a roamer is really unique, and I don't really see that often at all.
I think that there is also a very big difference in the way Lozi plays today and, you know, the past few days as compared to the regular seasons. It feels as though that Lozi has been, you know, really stressed out back then, where
like
he just throws his body over to the pit of doom and just dies all the time. But this time, even though he is still pretty aggressive, there is still...
has dimples. Sorry, I'm easily distracted. Yeah, continue.
Very easily distracted, yeah. Longzi now feels a lot more methodical with his approach. It's not always that he sees the opportunity, he's just gonna jump at it and hope that his teams follow up. Such as just now, right?
Yep.
It's the proxy between first and second turret. Just throws in a glorious pathway, slows everyone down and tells them, if you stay where you are, we will catch you. So move back right now before you get slowed even further or taken down.
Also, another point for the side of Team Evo is that they're playing a composition that wants Kingdom Esports to engage upon them. They're more of a counter-engage composition, right? If you engage onto Team Evo, you're going to face a Farsa and Fredrin to basically protect the Farsa, and also you run to slow people down. However, that's kind of not how Team Evo usually likes to play, right? They usually are the one that really goes for the hard engages, and that's why the playstyle, I think, is kind of off, right? It's not really exactly how Team Evo will usually play, and I think that's why Team Evo kind of not able to perform very well in game number 2.
I guess that they're gonna have to go back to the drawing board once again and try to identify what is gonna be their name of the game for game number 3, right? They're gonna have to go for a more roundabout approach. If we talk about, you know, the I would say if they gotta have to take a look about how they play in the game number 1, because they are playing a composition that is very easy to execute. As compared to game number 2, it is easy to execute to a certain extent. However, there is a very wide gap between the early game and the late game, as Claude needs time to pump up. Farsa had a very bad start as well.
Going to expanding rivers, especially for a roster such as Team Evo, this is one of the favorite maps in my opinion because of how powerful, so active around the map, right? And then after that, you could just bring the whole Goon Squad alongside with you. And speaking of which, we haven't seen Chip much during the playoffs, right? Chip really can perform very well, especially in expanding rivers, especially after you remove the Atlas in the picking phase.
So far, I think we don't have a single chip ban, nor pick in the past 2 games.
Nope, not at all. Not even yesterday.
I think not even for this game even. As we have the Yuzhong, Grok, Lancelot, and the Hayabusa. They have just joined into the banning phase. We are expecting to see more heroes banned out, such as CC, which is something that Kingdom's gonna pick. He's gonna ban out. How about Baxia? I think that would be the same as game number 2.
Nah, definitely. This seems like the exact same ban that the Team Evo did in game number 2. Lancelot, Hayabusa, Baxia as well. Immediately, first pick Yushin.
Fair enough. This also gives the opportunity for the Gadokacha to be snap-picked from the side of Evil. Because this is a very good hero nonetheless. With Yves and the Gadokacha, they do have very strong lane priorities straight up in the middle lane.
Yeah, Gadokacha has been like, what, first pick 3 times in a row in R1 position. Gadokacha, the AOG, just provides so much utility because it's an global ultimate as well. And on top of that, Team Evo this time around went for an Yves snap pick right off the back. Now, the Yves and also the Gadokacha works very well together because the box goes in, you could just slam everybody in with the AOG. That's extremely wonderful. But now Kingdom Esports on the other hand, what's their play? Now that they see what Team Evil has picked up for this. And I personally feel Team Evil this time around game number 3 got the better end of the trade. They allow, Kingdom Esports to take the Yushin Shin, but we take 2 S-tier picks.
More utility play from Kingdom. They're looking for the high loss
There
and the
we
juices.
go. Yes. Yes. Lapu Lapu for the sign of gear. Sorry.
Might be. Might be. Huh? It could be gold.
No, ew.
It could be gold still.
Ew.
Don't ew at me.
No, okay, I'm still not a... Okay, Lapu Lapu is perhaps I think, in my opinion, one of the best fighters in the GOAT, if you really want to put him in the GOAT, because Lapu Lapu needs a GOAT, needs his items to be really strong and snowball out of control. You can also wave clear with your axes as well.
Yeah, but I beg to differ though.
Okay.
He just need one item and he can just... Yeah. Because he has such insane amount of damage reduction the moment that he's close to everyone, and all he needs to do is just hit people. And he does have CC immunity during his Bravest Warrior, as compared to a Ruby. Both of them are very sustained base hero that really needs to hit opponents in order to get their life back. The only difference is that Lapu Lapu has got CC immunity, which makes it so much more difficult to lock him down and stop him from the spell vamp. While for Ruby, just a single stun, layer it, and she's dead.
Yeah. So definitely, I mean, Lapu Lapu was one of the fighters that I really need to go back and try it out because I'm not a really XP player. Yeah, but now if you take a look at Team Evil, right, at the very least, this is a lot of explosive damage if they really want to field the Lapu Lapu towards the gold lane. And even if you put him in the EXP lane, it's still also quite scary as well. So this gives a lot of ambiguity over the side of Kingdom Esports, especially to Coach Apex. How are they going to play this? And now, interestingly, they're going to ban the Bruno once again. Are they really respecting Vance Bruno for this one?
I don't think it's about that. The main thing is they gotta have to identify the jungler first, and I think the Evil would need to bring that out. And Joy is gone. I feel that Evil might be forced to play a Fredrin again, and it's kind of tough because you're going up against a Juicin.
Yeah, this is not a game for a Fredrin, right? Juicin just immediately could easily pick you up, and then after that just drop you off anywhere. And it's definitely going to be a little bit difficult. But the best part about this Juicin is that if you get trapped inside the real world manipulation, at the very least you can TP out using your ultimate, and then after that apply a lot of these stacks. But these stacks actually doesn't deny the real world manipulation. So this is, technically speaking, in my opinion, for the side of Kingdom Esports, the best in slot. But maybe perhaps Kimi is also quite good for the side of Kingdom Esports. But they will kind of overcommit just a little bit too much, in my opinion.
Honestly, Evil needs some kind of shred. And I think that their last pick for the jungle gotta have to be an Xbox. Unless they want to play something a little bit more interesting, the Alpha.
Haven't seen Alpha in ages, especially when Matilda is also kind of left out from the banning pool. Kingdom Esports going to slot in the Xbox once again, the Ruby once again. Similar roster from the side game number 1.
See value in me.
Use the same homework, hopefully.
You should.
So Evil does not have shred against KE at this point.
The Eve.
I don't really count the Eve as a shred at this point. She does deal a lot of damage, but it's difficult against the Pony of Hell.
I love how that nickname stuck to Hylos all this while, because Hylos is actually still a decent strong hero, but this time around not going to be paired up alongside the Eve this time around, going to be paired alongside with the Juicin. Still allows the Juicin to really focus on picking people up and then throwing them around. And now the Juicin is going to be fighting against Fredrin. Aether needs to really pilot and be really smart about this Fredrin, right? Like, you don't really want to step forward and then literally give FMM those stacks. However, maybe the alternative way for the side of Team Evil is just let Fredrin absorb the stacks from the side of Juicin, let Juicin run out of mana, and then once Juicin's out of mana, you could just re-engage back in together as a team.
Honestly, I think that Evil is being dealt a very dirty hand. The fact that they can't play the Xbox into the jungle, and the fact that, we don't see Alpha all that much, but I still much prefer the Alpha. With the fact that now, Fredrin, to be fair, right? To be fair, Fredrin and Alpha suffers the same fate. It's the fact that the moment they go in, they have no way out unless they play heroes such as a Mathilda. However, the Gattaca was picked up pretty early at R1, so it's kind of out of the question.
R1, I mean, R1 is a really good pick for the side of Gattaca.
It is.
So priced of Aroma right now. Exactly does everything that you need. Taunt is a very annoying ability, and you've got so much survivability and to a certain extent burst damage for the side of Gattaca, and it's so annoying to deal with, and that's coming from a marksman who always kills himself by trying to attack the Gattaca.
To be fair, we also need to remember that because of the fact that Evil wants to prioritize onto the Yi, denying the pick of Gattaca to the Kingdom Esports is very important. One thing that we gotta have to we gotta have to mention over and over again is that Yi does have a very high level of CC immunity during RWM that blocks off all stuns and knockups. A lot of these stuff. There were only two things that can stop the RWM. And that is number one, suppression. Number two, taunts.
Interesting pathing coming up on Yon this time around, right? Clearing the bottom part of the jungle, and then after that proceeding onto the purple. Powerful did scout that out already. So yeah, Yon, looking to focus on the mid lane instead.
Doesn't seem like we are going to be expecting too much right here. But for Kingdom Esports, because of the fact that they have a juice in, they will definitely be able to zone Evil out and take the river control. Is extremely bad because this is expanding rivers. Yep. You want to prioritize and you want to gain control of the river as much as possible.
Now Gear this time around stepping forward just a little bit, try to zone out Yon. He'll be able to do so. Aether this time around, First Blood. Funeral side of FMM, and now the real world manipulation on the side of Sailor to zone. But it's Gear stepping forward. Red Lapu Lapu will now be able to slice and find your insanity. The members of the Sun Kingdom Esports stepping forward as well. FMM once again picks up another kill for himself.
That's what you would expect from a Juicin. Without the reason and without an answer to the Juicin, you are essentially going to be giving away a lot of this early game control over to Kingdom Esports, and FMM can play literally as a cockroach. Right in your face, with Evil not having much of an answer right on.
Yeah, especially in bottom lane, you're expecting Gear to be able to slice and dice. The fact that he cannot pick off the Insanity earlier just now, that actually hurts him just a little bit, but now it's going to be this Centrepoint.
We do have got the multi-shotgun is ready out as well.
Stepping forward a little bit too far, Abstract. He's going to give his life over to FMM once again. The glorious pathway for the side, Lucy. Then now the green carpet for FMM to chase.
3 minutes and 13 seconds into the game, we're looking at about 13,000 gold lead in favor for Kingdom Esports. And understandably, Evil will have a lot of problems. So let's try to just dive in and identify what exactly is something that they gotta have to do, right? Because Granger is going up against a Ruby once again, and that is a very early game centric competition for Kingdom Esports with your marksman the side of Yon.
Oh, look at FMM. The damage coming up from the Juicin, especially when it picks up 3 kills, is snowballing out of control. And you mentioned about how Ruby going up against Ven. Yeah, Ven is not going to be able to kill Grant up top because all the damage, all the pokes on the Rhapsody is just almost instantly getting healed up easily by the side of Grant.
We also need to identify, right, when Yves and Gattaca finishes clearing up the middle lane, where do they go? What do they do? Understandably, Ven will not be getting any form of kills up the top lane, especially since Grant already has gotten getting his first item. The moment that happens, there's a power spike for Grant and he will not die. So putting more effort and more of that the timing down to the XP lane might be a little bit more worthwhile, just so that they will be able to allow the Lapu Lapu get a little bit more items so that they can solidify their mid stages of the game a little bit better.
Wow, tell me you want that gold crab without telling me you want that gold crab. Grant did literally use the I'm Offender just to snag the gold crab to himself, just denying as much resources over to Team Evil as possible. But right now, if you focus on these two teams, it's just a very slow-paced slow-paced game, Abstract.
Yep, because Evil, their roaming trio has limited damage. That is the problem about a Frederick. They have good control. But it's not going to help them too much because if you're looking at the impact, the control from Fredrin is nullified by the control of the Juicin. And the damage coming in that they can find from Yon doesn't come in from the roaming trio of Evil at all.
FMM going in like literally Mooncake Festival, just zoning out the rest of the Team Evil. They can't really step forward to this turtle pit. This turtle easy pickings for the side of Kingdom Esports right off the bat.
Also, I gotta have to say that's a free turret up the top lane. That will allow Ven to make a quick little swap over to the bottom lane, and this will unlock Lapu Lapu.
Real world manipulation for side Sailor to just pivot away, push Kingdom Esports from sieging, just laying down his no-go zone from the side of Kingdom Esports. But it's still, we need to see more coming out from Team Evo. Yes, you are able to take down top side turret. What's next?
That's 2 ultimates used just to clear out the middle lane. And now they need 3 people to go up against 3. Well, maybe 4.
Goes in, goes powerful. Yon coming in an awkward position. Powerful will be able to turn up Yon for now. Goes in, try to dash. The Mountain Shocker commit to Aether, goes down, burned down by Jinsanity.
This is a very individualistic game from Evil, don't you think so?
Yeah, it's very different. Like, you know, you expect Team Evo to basically, you know, Bob is actually doing a lot of hard work down bot. Yeah, taking down bottom lane for the side of Kingdom Esports, getting taken down by the minion. Team Evo, on the other hand, yeah, you're right. It seems like they're just all over the place, not too sure what they're going to do.
But to be fair, though, it does give them a bit of a good trade. They didn't lose the middle lane T1 just yet.
Powerful, getting tagged, snagged down, Sailor this time around. Oh, catching 2, ran down low just a little bit. AOG, Grand side steps it away. Nobody from the side of Team Evo will be able to catch onto Grand. Glorious Pathway now, they're focusing on Gear Burns of Flicker already. Aether and also Powerful stepping forward, trying to find any form of easy pickings. FMM, one man, he's literally just putting down the lantern and Team Evo has to run away.
That is the power of Juicing right now, but oh, Crimson Beacon.
Crimson Beacon right there will be able to pick up. Oh, no way for you to run, Gear. Oh, Bravest Warrior coming down, but gets rained down. Lowsy picking up the kill, revitalized outside. Powerful, Jinsanity, burning him down where he stands. Don't play with fire, kids.
Honestly, right now, it feels like the mental game for Evil is starting to crumble down bit by bit, with a little bit of these individual plays that come up victorious against Evil.
Yeah, it's just Team Evo is running out of ideas, running out of plans, the blueprints all out of the window. They really cannot find anything that could stick onto Kingdom Esports. This aggression on Yon, the first pick on this Yuchen sheet, is working wonders for Kingdom Esports.
With the fact that the middle lane T1 for Evil is already been destroyed, Kingdom Esports will be able to apply quite a bit of pressure throughout the entirety of the map already, despite the fact that the side lanes from Evil, or rather the side lanes of Kingdom Esports, has already been knocked down.
Lowsy will handshake this fight right there. Aether down low, just a little bit more. Sailor putting in a real world manipulation, will be able to burn Lowsy where he stands this time around. AOG for the side, Powerful will not be able to zone anybody, will not be able to catch anybody. As Yon tries to slice and dice onto Powerful, but Powerful unfortunately get burned down by Jinsanity once again.
It kind of feels that it was a little bit of a forced engagement from the side of Evil.
That was a good box from Sailor, but it's still not good enough against the aggression for Kingdom Esports Abstract.
To be honest, it kind of feels as though that Evil do want to bank all in order to funnel some of these kills over to Ven. Because right now, their saving grace and the damage that they want to come out of the game gotta have to be this guy Piercer. So a little bit of sacrifices have to be made, and some of these plays have to be tried in order to give Ven these kills.
Aether turning up Insanity right here, but he has a Furica armor to walk through it. Last Insanity, why not? He's so far ahead.
It's gonna be difficult for Ven to even pick up any of these kills. He doesn't have any form of physical penetration. Maybe he does have a tad little bit, but if you want to catch on to Jinsanity, or you want to catch on to Grant or Lolzy, remember, they do not have shred. Their bruises cannot shred. So as long as Evil jumps into a team fight, they can bruise up as much as possible, but you can expect the best that they do is probably half HP of Kingdom, especially since they're playing from behind.
You talk about armor penetration, Van agrees with you, picks up the Malefic Roar for himself. So this is the time where Team Evil, if they want to do something, they need to win this Lord Pit fight.
Today, does he even have enough? That's the question. We have the Mountain Shocker that exposes everyone. And
sightseeing. Just a little bit, goes a little bit too far. Gear stepping in. Bravest Warrior already activated. Crimson Beacon for the side. FMM activated. Mountain Shocker Aether in the Lord Pit right here. He takes the Lord away from Kingdom Esports. And now Kingdom Esports, they are angry. They're looking at Gear. They're looking at Powerful. Picking up one people at a time. And they will be able to take down Powerful.
A small little incentive for Evil. They managed to tally out the fight a tad a little bit by taking out the Lord. they now have managed to buy themselves a little bit more time in order for Ven to pop off a little bit longer. And this is actually a fight that they wanted, because whenever they have the Lord, it will force the opponents into the base. But it doesn't seem like Kingdom Esports is intimidated at all.
Nope, it's just Team Evo trying to buy some time as quickly as possible. Ven needs those guys to pierce the stack desperately, right? And if you notice how it was a very good sacrifice from the side of Gear to basically try to zone the rest of the Kingdom Esports away. But, you know, Kingdom Esports is still able to handshake this still properly, right? There's no damage done for their infrastructures.
8,000 gold in 8,000 gold in terms of total economy for Yawn. And in the meantime, 7.6 thousand gold for Granger. These two position 1 players are going at it with one another. Yeah. And unfortunately, for Evil, Kingdom Esports have got the upper hand. And not only that, Jusin has got the lantern as well. Well, I think Sailor doesn't have that just yet. So we need that shred from Evil as much as possible.
Catching on to Lozy, this is a good position from the side of Team Evil. Transcending desperately trying to come in with the burn, try to just cut the losses just a little bit. They'll be able to do so. Kingdom Esports, that was a wonderful catch from Team Evil, but none of it sticks.
Back to playing Possum.
Man.
12 minutes into the game. Bond still has 70 seconds until it comes out. Evil will probably want to look up for a stagger. However, their composition is not about pick-off. Kingdom, on the other hand, they can pick off solely because of the utility that Ju Sin provides.
Yeah.
Grant can also hook when it comes down to I'm offended. Anyone that plays wrongly and whoever that positions himself wrongly will suffer the wrath of the I'm offended plus flicker combination.
Yep, C helmet secured by the side of Ven already. You need a lot more anti-heal, especially when you're fighting against double fighters compositions like this one. I think it's a bit difficult because Team Evo is trying to catch people over and over again, but Kingdom Esports, they're always saved either by Lozy's Glorious Pathway or be it the sheer CC immunity for the side of Yawn as well. Now, Team Evo, they're looking up at 4K gold lead in the favor of Kingdom Esports. They're looking at this Lord. I think they should bide even more time, or do they even try to handshake this Lord fight?
4,000 gold lead. This will be a pretty easy Lord for Kingdom, but it doesn't seem like they're going to let go of that so easily.
Sailor's hopping on to the magic of the team fight Gear, jumping in the midst of everybody trying to slice and dice. Mosey down low already, has to retreat, but Last Insanity catches on the powerful. Grant is out of position, he finally joins the fight. Sailor flicker backward just a little bit more as the Lord just rampaging onto the fear members. First side Team Evil, one after another, the Evil gets pushed out of the Lord pit as Kingdom bites back.
With only one man alive on the side of Evil, Van has to defend against 4 other members.
That's another wave from the side of Kingdom Esports already. Van Last Insanity to zone as Team Evil goes for the Hail Mary. They go for the win, and ladies and gents, it is a little bit too much for Team Evil as Kingdom Esports picks up game number 3.
Victory!
It is the tempo and the momentum of Kingdom Esports that allow them to propel forward. And it seems like the Fredrin is just not quite working. They have been losing of these land. They have literally no landmass throughout the Land of Dawn.
They don't really have any real estate to work with. Call their agent. That's the only way, because they're just losing so much ground.
Honestly, at this point in time, they need to change things up. Possibly change up the junglers, or rather change up the jungle bans. I feel that the jungle bans is kind of limiting to themselves rather than limiting Yawn.
Yeah, Yawn is unfazed, right? You leak the Yushin Shin out like that very easily. 2 games in a row, you allow Yawn to have a great game. And you know, he's feeling himself already. He's feeling hype. He's feeling the raw. You can see if you're on site, you can literally see Lozy just screaming and also Yawn just screaming as well. Just providing so much the momentum and morale to his team, Kingdom Esports. This is a solid team for now.
It's kind of tough for Evil to kind of break out of that shell right now.
It is.
Right? This is a mental game through and through. The moment that they have lost 2 games, we are now down to match points.
Yeah. It's a very scary game for the side of Team Evil, right? You know, we hype this team up. throughout the regular season, they performed phenomenally. But now Kingdom Esports slowly rising in terms of the power rankings, and it looks very scary. We were preferring Team Evo to be the fan favorites this time around, but it seems like, you know, what Jay was talking about yesterday, they're looking at the grand final of Kingdom Esports versus Team Flash.
With the MVP of the game credited over to FMM onto Jusin. Again, 3:0:9. With a total of 92% kill participation, Jusin is literally the bane of Evil's existence.
Yeah.
With no one that have a proper way to dive. This is not exactly a dive composition. They need to slowly inch up over to the opponents, and that is what Fredrin is, Gatokacha is, and so on and so forth. Lapu Lapu can always jump in with the bravest warrior, but there is a backswing when it comes down to the stun. Fredrin dash in, but it's a very short dash. If you fail to catch up onto them, there's really nothing else that you can do. And Gatokacha, we mentioned about this time and time again.
Yep.
It is a counter engage / follow-up engage, not an initiation tool. They can use it, however, it is gonna be a skill shot in order for it to land.
I feel like, you know, it's just the MVP of the game for this one. FMM got 3 kills at the start right at the get-go, and all of a sudden, you know, Team Evil's, whatever they want to do, kind of fell short, right? Like, all the plans out of the window, immediately getting zoned out of Jusin. They paid so much respect for this particular hero, and that's because, you know, the Frederick cannot step forward, the Galokaja cannot step forward, and because of that, the whole game plan for the side of Team Evil just crumbles apart. But Kingdom Esports, on the other hand, you know, credits where credits due. Lowsy on the high loss is actually a very scary combination. He also won it in game number 2 earlier just now. He's really confident in this high loss, in this pony of death, like what you mentioned.
So far, there is no problems when it comes down to Kingdom Esports lineup. After all, don't change what isn't broken. No,
Yep.
don't fix what isn't broken. No, wait. Never mind. You get an idea. This composition works out.
Don't reinvent the wheel.
Don't what?
Why does it have to be wheel? Because the right? I don't know. It's just a human saying.
Sorry, whenever we talk about wheels, my dad brings Ghost Wheel on the bus right now. I'm sorry.
Tell me you have a kid without telling me that you have a kid.
But regardless, 13-3. We really need to identify what is the problem for Evil. Why are they unable to take early game fights? Why are they unable to kill? It really comes down to the roaming trio, right? When it comes down to Eve, Fredrin, and Gatokacha, they have got early game lane priority, but aside from that, what can they do to bring down a burst damage? Because burst is what brings down sustain heroes, and that is what Ruby is great for. Ruby can sustain for years if there is no way to burst him down. And Venom did not pop off until the later stages in the game, and in fact, he didn't even pop off because he's got no Sky Piercer stacks. You need these Sky Piercer stacks in order to bring Grant down, or literally any of these sustain heroes, even Longsy Hack because of Revitalize and the Magical Carpet.
Yeah, it's just way too slow for the rise of Team Evil, right? And it's also all about the fact is, it's just Kingdom Esports was just too far ahead, right? Like, giving 2 kills over the side of FMM, allowing Yon to basically solidify control. You pick up the turtle for yourself. You're just overwhelming Team Evil with sheer amount of damage. And also, there's like what I mentioned. There's no place for Team Evil to basically farm, to grow into a very solid team. And also, like what I mentioned, the map getting cut. Like, there's Lowsy, and also Yon is allowed to just come in with the weirdest flanks, go through the scenic route, go walk around, smell the flowers just a little bit before entering these team fights, because Team Evil is too far behind.
We're gonna have to reset the gears for Evil.
I see what you did there.
I did not. I need to stop punning. But it was not on purpose, and so isn't the purpose for Evil.
Yeah.
They need to change things around and kind of maybe change out the banning phase. I think that banning out Yon's heroes is not helping them at all.
It's not helpful at all.
Because keeping Aether on Fredrin is not doing anything in this roaming trio setup, especially if they prioritize and they take a lot of value out of the Yeet and the Gatokacha.
Yeah, and if you look at Aether's hero pool, right? Like he's played 5 games of Joy, 7 games of Yushin Shin, and now if you allow Yon to basically snap pick the Yushin Shin away from him, yeah, and he's actually, if you look at the stats for his past games, right, his 3 games of Fredrin, he only win 1. So he's not. You can see that he's not really confident or comfortable on these on these tank jungles. Maybe it's time to switch up just a little bit. Maybe it's time to really go for the assassin junglers. What is our Aether this time around?
One other way to think about it is that they are creating space for the Fredrin, or rather, Fredrin is creating space.
Yeah.
But the question is, they are creating space for whom? If they do win, if they do win in team fights, who are they creating the space for? Because Gear, understandably, will want to wipe out the lanes in the XP going up against the Xbox. Understandably, it's not going to be super easy as well, right? Because the Xbox can deal true damage.
Yep.
And that is painful to deal with. That is the skill matchup in the XP lane itself. And in the gold lane, it is a Granger that will be stuck in lane because Grant will always be able to wave clear faster and leave the lane faster.
Yeah, you see the damage dealt by the side of Van, 52k, and you compare that to, you know, what Kingdom Esports has packed for themselves. Like Drinsanity is dealing like what, 35k damage in total, FMM 36k, Yawn also 41k. That's a lot of damage that Team Evil would not be able to hold, right? Like, even though yes, technically speaking with the Lapu Lapu, you do have the damage reduction, but true damage is something that's really difficult for you to deal with.
Yep. So ultimately, we gotta have to look back at it again, look at some of these changes or differences, right? At least for Team Evil. They did manage to win 1 game with the Fredrin, which is the very first game. But I would say that the difference is that they had the Grok versus the Gatokacha. Grok, at least in the early stages of the game, does have some semblance of damage. Have you seen the damage coming in from a wild charge? Or rather, a tectonic charge?
Yeah, they changed the name.
Yeah, unknowingly. Doesn't say in patch notes. But as compared to an AOG, yeah, it doesn't say in the patch notes.
Correct.
As compared to the AOG, right?
Yep.
AOG, number 1, has a longer backswing. Number 2 has got, what, minuscule amount of damage. If you want to fight, if you kind of want to look at it in another way, the one that he punches the floor and he erupts the ground, it's the damage over time. Yes, damage over time has got a lot of damage, right? Over time.
Yep.
But they need to be inside. So it's mostly more used as a wave clear skill rather than to help deliver burst damage in a team fight.
Yeah, I think the burst damage from the side of Team Evil, they're hoping Lapu Lapu was able to do so. Technically speaking, as a Fredrin is a very interesting hero, right? Like, the fact is, like, you do damage over time, in a sense, because you're constantly layering your skills over and over and over and over and over again. But at the same time, you also have this massive burst damage on the Praise's Wrath. If you notice, even that previous game, the Team Evil wasn't able to use any form of Praise's Wrath at all because the burst damage, or basically the damage coming out of Kingdom Esports, is way too much. Xbox is literally burning him down. Where he stands, there's also Juicing that's also picking him up. Then all of a sudden, your combo is not in a good position. You're not in a good position to land down your combos, and then your combos get reset. It's very hard to maneuver using the Fredrin, especially against a Juicing. Now, earlier just now in game number 2, where it was a Fredrin once again, and it's a Yeeve, right? The Yeeve can literally slow you down, and even before you could actually step forward to bonk him once again, you get burned down by the Yeeve damage.
So, I think that Team Evil just needs to play more bursty heroes, such as to completely eliminate the Yeeve. Yeeve is great! Yeeve is great! However, I think that things are not just working out for them, given the way that it's played out. If they want to play a Fredrin, then they need some kind of bursty mage. And coming in from Sailor, hey, maybe we'll see a Kagura.
Wow.
I mean, they did play the Farsa though.
Yeah, they did play the Farsa in that one game, but the Yushin is just too slippery. Also, another thing is Kingdom Esports very comfortable on this Yushin. Maybe it is also time to look back and ban that away because, like, yeah, the Hayabusa, the Lancelot, you gotta ban it away. And if you notice, in 2 games in a row, Team Evil goes in the red side. That means that, you know, the Baxia, you need to sacrifice 1 ban slot for the Baxia. At the same time, you also need to sacrifice the Lancelot ban as well. There's so many things to ban out. And Yon, you know, he can always fall back to Arkai easily. He can also go back into his, like, well, I don't know, when he first debuted, what, a Martis jungle, if you really want to be a little bit creative on this. But especially when you are in the lower bracket finals, I don't think being creative is a really good idea anymore. It is time to use whatever you learned during the regular season and putting your best foot forward. No, best feet forward. Jump both feet at the same time.
We can also identify that even if Team Evil were to be on first pick, first ban, they would not have the opportunity to pick out something like a Yushin or Baxia based on game number 1 statistics, where Kingdom Esports bans out Baxia, Yushin, and the Yu Zhong. So ultimately, what I was hoping to go for, or what I was looking to see, is early game power spikes, right?
Yep.
And early game power spikes that can lead off to the later stages of the game, that can still allow your team play fighter sides, side lanes and all. I've recently seen this again coming in from it was Philippines teams, right? And that is the resurgence of Selena together with the Baxia. It's almost a guaranteed shot when it comes down to Absolute Arrow, when the Baxia crashes with someone. It's very high octane kind of pacing of a game, but it also doesn't require the Absolute Arrow to be a skill shot component.
Nope.
It's a great tool to still have. But ultimately, as long as you're constantly being able to take off tanky heroes at the start of the game with these kind of burst damage, you don't have to be too afraid of that in the later stages too.
Yeah, you talk about the Selena and Baxia one more combo, but for your information, Abstract, out of 75 games in MPL Singapore, Baxia has been pick banned 75 times. It's 100% pick ban rate, 67 bans in total out of 75. That is a whopping 90, almost rounding down 89% of the bans.
So with that said, we've got Kingdom Esports that is going to be on first pick, first ban, and Evil on second pick, second ban. So what we have looked out for in the first game is going to be, what was that again? Yi Sun Shin, Baxia, and Yu Zhong ban. So right now, what KE is going to change out is that they will ban the Yu Zhong first. So they are no longer, the Evil, they ban out the High Lords first. So we are no longer going to be looking at the Lancelot and the Hayabusa ban. We already have some change, and the Yi Sun Shin ban as well. So they are starting to change things up already.
Okay, that's very good, because banning away the Yi Sun Shin is something that we kind of need to highlight. In game number 2, game number 3, allow Yon to play something that he's very confident with. He's going to snowball out of control, but at the same time, once again, Team Evil is back at second pick. They've lost 2 times as second pick. They won 1 time in the blue pick. So yeah, that's gonna be definitely, Coach Bitoy, it's really up to him on how he needs to really draft this particular game out, especially when this is the last chance, especially when this is match point for Kingdom Esports. They win this, they lock in the grand final slot, going up against Team Evil later today.
Muscle of iron.
So one of the interesting things about these two teams is that we do have got a bit of information as to who is blue, who has the high blue side win rate, who have high red side win rate and all. Thank you, Jace. Kingdom Esports, they have a lot higher win rate in the blue side at this point with about 40% win rate. And of course, for Team Evil, on the red side, 28%, while their blue side is like 33%.
Oh man, if you see how Team Evil is actually drafting this one, they are actually trying to open up CC as much as possible, because Gear has wonderful games on this Yo-Yo Girl, but Kingdom Esports Insanity snapped that away from the side of Team Evil. Maybe this time around here, needs to go for the Lapu Lapu. Okay, goes for the Lancelot this time around for the side of Team Evil. 8th. Lancelot in this particular patch is super strong because of his nutty numbers, and because of the fact that, Cat's out of the bag for the side of Kingdom Esports, maybe they're going to delay the jungle pick to the second phase pick instead. The Alice, wonderful, interestingly, slipped past the first phase for 2 or 3 games in a row already. Maybe this time around, Team Evil will use that for themselves.
So this is going to be a completely different Evil composition.
Yep.
They have a Kalia, and they would want to make full use of that pick-off potential. Now we've got the Hayabusa and the Lancelot being picked up from either one of these two teams. And understandably, Hayabusa will have a more superior ultimate as compared to Lancelot when it comes down to 1v1 scenario, especially when both of these two heroes wants to stray off the tangent and go for a split push. Evil still prefers that Eve on their side. So one thing's for sure, that they are not making full use of that the mage for that pick-up potential. They might want to look at some gold laners that can play around with Kalia's Tsunami Slam.
Yeah, the pickup potential is actually a-okay, but, you know, especially in this particular patch, Kalia is so susceptible to the Purify, so that means that you need somebody from the side of Team Evil to also pop off the Purify first before you go in for the Tsunami Slam. And this is the time where I contradict myself, where maybe now... No, that's crazy. That's crazy. You don't go for that.
Say it.
You really need to go and try to pop off that Purify from the side of the enemy, right? The only way is to basically, you know, go for double fighters, overwhelm them with CC, so that the Kalia will be able to pick somebody up, so that Aether will be able to find the assassination. And then, unfortunately, his playstyle doesn't allow for fighter gold lanes.
I'm not too sure whether they are gonna be using Aether as the one to make full use of the Tsunami Slam. I would like to believe that he's more of the executioner rather than the bruiser. We don't have information as to who's going to be the XP and the gold at this point in time. It could quite literally go to anyone right now.
Yeah, Xborg got banned away by the side of Kingdom Esports, hinting that, you know, the last two could be an easy high loss as well. Esmeralda gets taken away.
To be fair, this is a very divey composition from Evil. They can play towards dive. A part of me still kind of imagine that Cho might be the gold pick for Evil.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking, right? Remember, we talked about how you need to try to pop off the Purify so that the Tsunami Slam go in. Now you got double displacements. It actually allows the whole team Evil to basically use that. But once again, you kick, you pick, you need some form of burst. You've already locked in the Yve. Yve does damage over time, unless the whole goal is to basically keep people inside the box. Is that a good solution against Kingdom Esports, especially in game number 4?
To be fair though, the roaming trio would have a little bit more damage than their previous games already. But if KE continues to move on forward with some more sustainable heroes at this point, because right now they're still lacking of Aroma. Aroma that has good healing would be the Hylos, but it's not available anymore. Hylos is a great deterrent to opponents if they do not wish to play marksman. So you kind of force opponent to play marksman. So right now, the fact that Evil banned out the Hylos kind of gives me the suggestion that Evil don't want to play marksman. They want to play early game, they want to go all in. So KE, their idea and their suggestion to go forward is to go for more sustain.
Alice being selected by side Kingdom Esports. Oh dear.
Exactly.
Alice is so strong, he will slap that onto a Tigreal. Oh man, this is a very dire roster against Team Evil. There's so much tankiness, right? Like, Alice also is something you have to deal with now. You're forced to go into carry, perhaps.
Oh!
You go for a Harry for this one? Yeah, I think you can, but Zaman Force right inside the passive or even the TOR for the side of this Alice. I'm not a huge fan of this one. They have to do or die with this one, ladies and gents.
The fact that the Harif is picked really just tells me the fact that they respect KE's amount of crowd control, or rather, the intensity and impact of the crowd control. Because whenever you pick up a Harif, you know you have to pick a Purify.
Yep.
No other battle spells would fit Harif in most situations. So if you know that your marksman needs a Purify, Harif is the way to go, because there's only realistically 2 proper crowd control from Kingdom.
Yeah, but then those 2 proper crowd control for Kingdom are zone denials. Harif is so prone to zone denials because if you're literally pushed out from your Zaman Force, you really cannot do a decent amount of damage, or basically you cannot do your constant DPS. So it's all up to this one. But at the very least, Team Evil, yes, there's a potential clear that could do some pick up. You got the burst damage to follow up as well from the side of Team Evil. So at least they do have the damage.
Even for me right now, for this potential final game of the lower bracket finals, there is a lot of question marks. And if whether Kingdom will be able to get a 3-win streak, or will Evil once again be able to fight back?
Yeah, we definitely want to see Team Evil to be able to fight back, especially, you know, how they're so strong in the regular season, but I don't know why they kind of falter during the playoffs. So many question marks, right? So many hopes and also dreams lay on this team, Team Evil, since Season 3. The community heroes turned Titan Slayers, and now Titans, and now this is their season, but they shouldn't falter here.
This is quite a bit of
whoa, you gotta slow down, you gotta chill. Powerful this time around, takes too much damage, but the flicker, but Hayabusa catches him. Yawn picks up first blood.
That is a very aggressive front from the side of Powerful. That is definitely a mistake, but
come on.
To be fair, they're trying to amp up when it comes to the tempo. They're trying to amp up in terms of aggression.
Yeah, you lose Powerful, you burn the flicker, you give a kill over to Yawn. That's a double whammy right in the face. You flip, you fell on the butt, and then you wake up, you get hit by a rake. Again, if you remember those cartoon days.
That's Tom and Jerry, huh?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, you old.
You're also old.
Yeah.
We're old.
And so is Longzy.
But he's still playing. Well,
yeah.
He's still playing.
Better than us at this point in time. But this guy is going crazy. Everywhere that he goes, he brings the team to championships. But the question is whether Season 10 is going to be the same storyline.
Man, literally Fortune coming in. Yawn, tags the shadow onto Powerful. The Phantom Execution. Aether! That's not what you want to do!
But to be fair, and luckily so, Aether did not go down from all of that.
Phantom Execution already committed though. That means that your turtle takedown is a little bit slow. Insanity does have a TOR to work with. Aether snacks the turtle away from Kingdom Esports. They have to bugger out right up there.
It's a small little win for the side of Evil.
Yeah.
Small little win with the turtle tick. As now both of the teams, they're going back to their old lanes and to really have a test fight for distance. How things gonna look like for both sides. Understandably for Kingdom Esports, they don't have very strong control in the river lines in the early stages of the game because they lack damage. So this is kind of the same situation that Evil was having in game number 2 and game number 3. So what is Kingdom Esports' answer when the opponents clearly have got higher damage than you?
I don't know, man. Abstract, I'm really feeling the anxiety coming from Team Evil, right? Like, you don't falter here. You work so hard all throughout. Kingdom Esports, on the other hand, they have a very shaky regular season now. They're here at the lower bracket finals. And they're bearing teeth. Yawn is angry right now. This is a very strong jungler that Team Evil has to deal with. And, you know, giving him one kill early just now is gonna be problematic. Yes, you take the turtle, but there's only what 200 gold diff, and Aether only 1 level difference. You need more.
It's gonna be a quick run away from the side of Sailor. Kingdom Esports, they definitely have a very good taste of understanding how much damage that they can deal throughout all of that, and of course poking out onto Sailor. But I don't think that that is going to go anywhere too far, right? Kingdom Esports do have a small tad bit of timer for themselves, or rather, it will take some time before they will eventually be able to pop off.
Yeah, I feel like Team Evil this time around, Gear needs to be the main character. He needs to really start slashing and dicing, you know, going in Bravest Warrior to basically deal with the TOR. But Kingdom Esports right here, they're so far ahead in terms of, you know, momentum, and also, you know, from the past few games, it feels like, you know, they've... Oh, hold on a second, Lozy.
Doesn't seem like we'll be able to expect too much from Lozy just yet, but the Zaman Force is gonna be out.
Yeah, going in, like what I mentioned, the real main character, Energy as well. He slices and dices right inside the real world manipulation. Aether picking out Lozy as well. Here comes the Tsunami Slam for the side of Team Evil, stemming him down. Trinsanity goes in with a TOR, but Trinsanity takes them off, and Aether picking up a turtle for himself. A bit of signs of life for Team Evil.
This is just what having damage in the early game can do for your team with 1,600 gold. But remember, this is still the laning early phase. In the mid stages, Kingdom Esports does have a little bit more when it comes down to having some good power spike. Yawn is something that we gotta have to look out for, FMM as well. The only problem when it comes down to Kingdom Esports lineup is their XP laner, because they have a CC. CC wants to win and beat down lanes. The fact that they lost the T1 turret up in the top lane against the Lapu Lapu already have a little bit of semblance of failure from the side of Kingdom Esports lineup. So understandably, we need to look out for team fight potential for Kingdom Esports in the mid stages of the game, somewhere around 8 minutes to 12 minutes. What is the answer?
I think right now it's just making sure. Oh, whoa, there's so much damage from the side of Gear. Gear angry.
Gear angry.
He angry. You don't touch him. He's feeding food right now.
Honestly, they're just kind of like, sounded like ape talks.
Of course. I mean, Gear was angry right there, right? Down in the bottom lane, he was able to create so much space. His Gravis Warrior also slice and dice, outputs quite a decent amount of damage, zones out Kingdom Esports as well. But right now, Kingdom Esports, once again, he's just going in. Whenever he has it, he's just going on ham onto CC, and CC doesn't do as well as other heroes as compared to Lapu Lapu.
Yeah, at this point in time, it's more about just poking in a wet noodle fight. You slap me, you slap me, I slap you, no one dies kind of situation. It's just a battle of resilience in the XP lane. But it also boils down to timing. Whoever pops their ultimate, that kind of stuff, is gonna go down later on because of an external team fight that might eventually happen.
Yeah, 3k gold league in the favor. Oh, sorry, 2.5k gold lead in the favor of Team Evil this time around. Ooh, they snap all the way back. They're escalating as much gold as possible. This is a good sign for the side of Team Evil right now. Kingdom Esports, on the other hand, Hayabusa needs to really farm up. Level 9 Hayabusa should be one of his power spikes, but he needs to find the right target. Maybe perhaps bad, but oh, that's going to be the Tsunami Slam from Lozy. Lozy has to leap away. Doesn't have the flicker anymore for the implosion. Gear stepping forward as well. Slice and dice, the implosion will be able to land as FMM free hitting from the back line. That's going to be Gear taken down by FMM. And Team Evil this time around, bending back against the wall. Yon finds Van, and that's the main target that Yon is looking out for.
It's a 2-for-2 trade with one jungler, or rather both of the junglers still alive for this, so that is still objective take.
Venom execution final to FMM right now. Yon using the clock shadow to just zip and zap it out, but he will not be able to find anything as Aether online, picking up Grand, and goes for the turtle.
Give the assassin to Aether. That is exactly what we are seeing right here. 3 kills, no death, and 2 assists. Now the problem when it comes down to Kingdom Esports, and they gotta have to find a way to come back over this, is the fact that FMM, he is gonna be one of the main hopes of Kingdom Esports lineup in the later stages, especially from mid-game onwards. But I don't think that FMM have got the farm as of yet. And unfortunately for Kimi, doesn't have a lot of mobility as well. Kimi is actually more of the late game insurance for Kingdom Esports. Picking up the Sky Piercer is gonna be so important. They need to look for something in order to let FMM pump up damage. They need to draw out these fights even longer. That's why they have Insanity. That's why they have the Alice. The longer the team fight lasts on for, the better it is for the Kimi.
Right now it's just 3 turtles in a row goes in the pockets, Team Evil. Snowball is there. Van also picking up the necessary items like your Stadium Sign and also Feather Heavens, ready to rumble, ready to rock. Kingdom Esports on the other hand, like what you mentioned, elongating the fight, making sure that FMM is able to just like spread out the damage using the Going One and also the Sky Piercer stacks. He needs to start farming that up. But oh, Grand, taking a bit of damage just by like what, one Thorn Rose like there, he's half HP. Grant's unable to scale, and that's why I'm still not a very big fan on the CC gold lane. It is a little bit interesting, but I think there are better fighter gold laners as well.
But regardless, that is the decision that they have made, and that's the game that they are playing right now. They're looking for some other objectives, and they're trying to look for some ways to be able to come back into this. Do note that Grant playing as the CC does have some mean damage later on. It's all about bruisers having a way to execute. And in this case, because FMM does have got the Sky Piercer, I think it will slowly inch towards FMM's position, and it will inch towards his advantage. The more that Grant gets more farm, and the more that Insanity gets more farm too.
First Lord is up. We're looking at Lozy to basically use the Flicker Implosion. That's a one-more combo. Hopefully you will be able to try to catch somebody from the side. Team Evil will be able to try to catch on Van. Van burns the Purifier already. Real one individual from the side. Sailor. TOR from the side to Insanity as well. Trying to absorb as much damage as possible. Members from the side. Team Evil ignoring Alex already. They're looking for more. They take down Grant. They take down Lozy. And now they're going to look for and Insanity has to bug it out of there. The Lord down low just a little bit. Yon desperately trying to take down the Lord. But Aether will pick it up instead. The Shadow not slippery enough. The Ninja gets sliced down by Team Evil.
As such, losing 3 members in that fight. Evil will very easily take down the T1 turret in the middle lane, leaving Insanity and FMM to defend on all their own. Lozy is back. Grant is back. They were trying to deter This aggression is coming in from the Lord that marches in from the top lane.
Yeah, the Lord coming in. It's wonderful for the side Team Evil. 7k gold lead. Holy Crystal for Ven. Holy damage already from the side Team Evil. And now it's Kingdom Esports. Yon needs to find the Quad Shadows onto Ven. Shadow kill. And also perhaps finding Sayla as well. But Aether can also do decent chunk of damage.
I'm trying to look out for more ways of Kingdom Esports to be able to repel this upcoming Lord. This is a baby Lord after all. It is still possible, given the fact that there's FMM and Grant. Not exactly sure just how much damage potential Grant eventually has. But so far, we need a big ultimate from Lolzy. But even if with the big ultimate from Lolzy and a big TOR, I kind of want to know how much AoE damage Kingdom Esports can actually deal to Evil.
Yep, Aether split pushing down bot as well. Zaman Force from the side of Ven. Already dealing it, trying to push the baby Lord. Touching the turret. Will not be able to do so. Kingdom Esports defense for now. But they lost most of the turrets outside the base, Abstract.
So that is exactly what you will want from a baby Lord. To take out all the exterior turrets in order to put yourself in a good fight. Do note that we no longer have any more of their holy defense, so it doesn't really quite matter how the waves are going to be pushed up, so on and so forth. Kingdom Esports, their lineup does enable them to play a bit, I emphasize, of cross-map plays. So Yon can eventually make his way to either top lane, middle lane, or bottom lane, but understandably, because of the amount of HP left in the top lane T1, that top lane, it might very likely be the target of Hayabusa's split push, which, as you can see from the side of Evil, they seemed a little bit more biased to the top lane.
The main damage dealers needs to be able to do their jobs, right? But it seems like the Hayabusa, yes, the Malefic Roar is really good, but more pressure on... Aether. Calm down, bro.
Fortunately, the Thorn Rose did not manage to connect. But it's not really gonna matter too much. It's more of a poke. It's more of a drive away kind of situation. And also a very good way for Aether to gauge just how much damage his Thorn Rose could potentially deal over to the main bulk of the enemies.
I can tell you, one Thorn Rose onto Grant, that's almost half HP gone.
Half HP.
That's actually very scary because especially when you're a fighter, right? And if you're so prone to assassins doing that to you, you really have to think twice again, especially how you path and where you path.
Do note that we are 13 minutes into this game with 9,000 gold lead for Evil. This is the kind of aggression that you will want from a micro-based team.
Bravest Warrior already will be able to try to push. Implosion coming out from Lolzy, but it seems like here is unfazed. Aether picking up a Lord for himself. Very well manipulation from the side. Sayla and Scratch just barely take a Sayla all the way back with the critical. It doesn't really matter because the members for the side Kingdom Esports are falling apart. Aether will be able to slice the Thorn Rose onto Kingdom Esports' neck.
Unfortunately, it does seem like Aether has been outplayed by Yon. Baited out a couple of that Phantom Execution and the Thorn Rose. But that does help a little bit when it comes down to pushing in. Bottom lane, T3 will now effectively be destroyed. And the main four of Evil will march in.
Team Evil marching in. They're looking for the win. This time they're looking for the Hail Mary. They're looking for the goal. They're looking for to equalize and crack open, mid open. The Lord slicing down top. As also Team Evil looking to cycle. The Summer Force going in. The Lord slicing and icing. Lolzy trying to defend the TOR as Kingdom Esports. They repel Team Evil after another. Makes a bit too much. As Team Evil slice, dice, and crush Kingdom Esports. One after another. No more defenders. But it's like Kingdom Esports. Team Evil equalizing the scores.
Evil held strong throughout the entirety of game number 4. With a very strong outcome in the early stages. They pretty much played their hearts out as well. And of course, managed to hold on to momentum. That is exactly what I was talking about for Evil, as they play very strong momentum and tempo game. In the meantime, I feel that the more that I see these two teams fighting one another, the more I feel that they, for Kingdom as well as Evil, they have relatively similar play styles, right? They are all also very micro-intensive. They play a lot for team fights and they play a lot for the early game. In fact, this current meta of MLBB relies a lot on early game pressure and relies a lot of early game power spikes.
Yep.
As long as you have all of that, you actually don't have a lot of comeback mechanics in your team. Even if you're talking about triple marksman composition kind of thing, right? It can happen. It can happen, but it requires some failures. It's not massive failures, but some failures.
Well deserved on the MVP screen. Aether coming back online. A bad performance for like, what, 2-3 games in a row as the Fredrin. You give him an assassin, he comes online, he dies, he just dash around, shing, 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 and everybody dies. 707 is the KDA, and man, he is angry.
What did you just say again? He slice and dice and he what? Huh?
Shing, shing, shing.
Is it because I'm Chinese? But anyways, good play coming in from Aether so far. 7-0-7. All in all, we needed to see this kind of damage control in the roaming trio, and that is something that they understood. If you look at Kingdom Esports lineup, right, the roaming trio comes in as Hayabusa, Kimi, and Tigreal. Hayabusa understandably has got good damage. However, you gotta have to look on the opposite side. Kalia as the roamer has got catch potential, and just by herself, she can deal some mean damage. So, in terms of the damage department, Evo will definitely be able to ward off the opponents just from pure brute force. And that is the same thing as what Kingdom has been doing in the past game. Kingdom Esports with the Yi Sun Shin, the Hylos, as well as the Jusin, right? Hylos plus Jusin, double DOT. The longer you stay in, the more brute force damage you will be able to deal with the Yi Sun Shin coming in, because that's all the bruising that you need. So both teams, they identified already. Early game, damage equals good.
Wow, never thought that's a very interesting way of saying damage is good.
Damage is good.
Damage is always good.
Survivability is okay.
Yeah, but if you look at how... okay, I think this is a very interesting pick coming out from the side of Team Evo, right? Like, Gear also opening up so many avenues for the side of themselves to really do a lot of damage, and also zoning the rest of the members out from the side of Kingdom Esports, unable to step forward. And then if you notice how powerful plays this is Kalia, right? Like, he's really patient on the Tsunami Slam, and it's not like every time when you see other people, when they play the Kalia, they play the Tsunami Slam, right? They flicker forward, and then after that they start the fight with it. But no, this is powerful, using this as a way to make sure that people stay inside the real world manipulation, hoping that, you know, Team Evo starts a fight with using Gear with the Bravest Warrior, pops off the Purify, hopefully, and then after that follow up and try to pick off anybody. Lozy feels like the main punching bag. Grand also the same as well for the side of Team Evo, and from there they're able to farm and scale out of control.
Now, of course, when it comes down to this game, there is a main problem, and that is Kingdom is unable to take any standing objective nor neutral objectives.
Yep.
They were starved out, and they were unable to funnel any of these farms for anyone, actually. This is more of a game where they want to funnel the farm over to Yon, so play around the entirety of the maps, do whatever they can in order for a relatively late game assassins to pop off earlier into the game. And I think that is the good thing about Kingdom Esports lineup, right? They don't see a need to funnel farm over to Drinsanity or FMM Grand or Loyalty. Most of these lanes and most of these jungle farms should go to Yon, which would explain the fact that Yon have a total of 9,000 gold to himself.
Yep.
But I think the problem also derives from the fact that there is no zonal changes. So, and also remember, Hayabusa, OG Shadow Kill, good for 1v1, but not for 1v5.
Yeah. If you're unable to land your shurikens properly, and you know, because of the RNG, how Shadow Kill just pour him out all the amount of damage right there. There's also another thing, if you notice during the damage charts as well, Kingdom Esports is unable to do as much damage as compared for Team Evo. Team Evo, hey, that Ven on the Harif, man, it's so good to watch, because yeah, Ven is back online as well, and he's able to just output the damage, especially in those small little choke points. And all of a sudden, the Alice doesn't seem very scary anymore, right? Like, yes, the TOR goes in, there's also a Tigreal as well, but you know, the main damage dealer from the side of Team Evo, and namely the Harif and the Lapu Lapu, and to a certain extent the Yves as well with the real world manipulation. Heck, if you notice, the TOR is always casted right inside the real world manipulation itself, and what Harry can do, Purify, and then after that, Zaman 4 Zippy Zappy Zoom. He doesn't really require to literally walk around. Everybody's trapped inside. They will receive most of the damage from that first skill of Harry.
That's the thing, right? Zaman Force inside of Real World Manipulation, it doesn't matter. Just let him dash away with the Purify, and Yves has got his back throughout the entire time.
Yep.
Anyone wants to come close, such as Lolsey, such as Alice, they all need to go into the box in order to deal with him. And there's, like, you know, only 2 out of 3 that is AoE crowd control. So you guys pretty much get the idea. As such, we have gone down the wire, and both sides are ready to implode with the wrong rumble. And that's the question: who is going to be imploding at the end of this 5th game and also match point? Ladies and gentlemen, everyone that is at home, don't go anywhere too far, as MPL SG Season 10 Lower Brackets Finals is going to be coming back to you very soon.
Welcome to MCGG Rising Stars. From September 12th to October 19th, take part in the regional contest, open to all players. Step up and prove your strength.
Division finals will run from October 24 to November 2. The top 16 players in each division may advance to the next stage of MRS. Check your in-game mail for information. The S3 Finals group stage kicks off from November 8 to November 9. The top 6 players from each group will qualify for the S3 Finals semifinals.
The semi-finals will be held on November 15. The highly anticipated grand final arrives on November 16. The champion will earn a direct qualification for the first MCGG World Championship. The battle is on and the world is watching. Welcome to MCGG Rising Stars.
Alright, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back once again to the final game of this lower bracket finals.
Yep.
Of course, between
Last game.
Kingdom Esports and Team Evil. It's down to the wire now.
Yeah, literally, right? It's been a very competitive season. You know, the past few seasons is very clear-cut on who's going to be able to win and etc. But this time around, I really cannot put a finger, right? It could go either way. Both these two teams literally played out of their minds, practiced out of their minds as well. And, you know, it's just very sad to see one of these teams go.
Yeah. Honestly, when it comes down to even today's games, we've watched 4 games through and through. And it's not about the fact that the teams were super callous or anything.
No, it's not.
No,
It's just them outplaying each other.
Exactly. Now, there are some points in time where the draft really dictated about the fact how the game is gonna tilt towards.
Yep.
And so far, the trend kind of seems like damage, right?
Yes.
Whoever controls the game is the one that have got early game damage or any form or any semblance of pressure.
Yep.
Because you can't bring out pressure through sustainability. You can sustain from fights, but you're not repelling the enemies because they don't feel threatened.
Yeah, and I feel like there's a few times when, you know, teams that really did overthink about, you know, the items, the heroes, like in terms of like loading themselves up with too much sustainability, too much CCs, but there's not a lot of damage being dealt. And usually the damage role is being filled by these marksmen, right? And the gold lane is something of an iffy thing already. And, you know, for a few games in a row now, we're seeing Kingdom Esports, they fielded grants on, you know, your fighter gold laners. Like, for example, earlier just now, started game 1 with a Moskov grant. Then after that, it was a Ruby grant, and then after that is once again a CC grant. So like what I mentioned, it's just the fighter gold lane thing means that you really need to invest a lot more into damage. And where is the damage coming from? Usually from your mid, usually from your jungles.
Okay, so that is a statistic that is actually super important. The fact that Kingdom Esports haven't played a single gold lane marksman for their past 4 games.
Yeah.
And they have been, you know, putting quite a lot of emphasis onto either Kimi or onto Yusun-Shin. And I think that the idea of taking the Yusun-Shin away from away from Kingdom Esports is actually kinda huge. Because now the ball is gonna be onto Kimi's court. If they're giving the Kimi away, then it gives Kingdom Esports the idea that we can flex the Kimi into a marksman, and we just needed to wait to that point in time where Kimi can pop off.
Yep. I just feel like right now, it's just about both the draft and also about the mental of these players. Don't forget, it's going to be a very long day for the winner as well. After this, they need to play the grand finals later today. And they have expanded and fought as best as they could all the way to a 5 games in a row. They're literally, I don't know whether it's the case, but I feel like they're being tenderized, being softened up by the lower bracket finals. I fear the grand finals as well. It's also going to be a little bit interesting.
Now with all of both of the teams and all of the players, they're gonna have to reset their gears a bit, especially for Kingdom. Yeah, they gotta have to. I need to stop saying that. They have to reset. They have to come to a complete reset. They have to change the way that they play, especially for Kingdom. They won one. Oh, sorry, they lost one, won twice, and then lost again. So this is gonna be a little bit painful when it comes down to momentum.
Yeah.
And I think that at least for Evil, they have a bit of that.
Yep, so we're also thinking about how, you know, for the side of Team Evil, whether they are able to maintain this momentum. Yeah, they're the one that's literally slowed down the train for the side of Kingdom Esports, right? Literally denying that win in the previous game, denying that match point, and now both of these two teams, we went back into both teams. That's the match point, all right? Winner goes to the grand finals, have a chance at M7. Loser goes home immediately after this game.
The stakes are high, and there's only one team They will move on over to the next part of the bracket, and everything will be decided through this random map draw. And everything will go with broken walls.
Yeah, and you know, the championship podium is a little bit tight, right? It's only it has enough space for one team, and unfortunately these two teams do have a chance, do have a shot against Team Flash, but they need to beat each other first, and they have to put it all into this one. Whether Fortune Cat Lozy able to use his luck to continue push through, or whether Evil triumph in this game. Ladies and gentlemen, this is it. This is the lower bracket finals between these two teams.
We're going to be starting the last game of this series with
Let them play the hero.
quite a bit of bad
I
here.
will be the
Hylos,
truth this
Jusin,
world
and of course the
desperately
CC from the side of Evil and Kingdom have banned out the Yi Sun-shin, Lancelot, and Yu Zong.
Yep, standard bans as well. Both these two teams, they know each other very well, and also they are very comfortable in terms of playing, but they leak out the bucks here. Overside Team Evil. I don't know whether this is a good thing or a bad thing.
So Sustain, that KE has always been playing, is gonna be at jeopardy due to the fact that Baxia is already going to the side of Evil.
Yep. Baxia is so strong, especially in broken walls. You're basically just gonna zoom through everything because of all these access points that the wall has. It doesn't block anymore, right? And so this is okay for the side of Team Evil, and now they're going to continue on an Nabu, which is something that Gear has played tremendously well in the previous game.
Do know we have a bit of difference from the side of KE as well, because they are finally whittling away from the jungle marksman / mage marksman. Kimi was not picked from KE. In fact, they prioritized onto the Yve. This would mean that KE finally might play the gold lane marksman, which I actually have no idea if whether that is gonna be a good thing or not, because throughout the entirety of this play of, at least this series, Grand did not play a marksman.
They did game number 1, Moskov.
Okay, never mind.
He did one game.
Once.
But the Moskov is also really good in a sense for the side of Kingdom Esports as well right now. Everybody slow down in the real world manipulation, and the splash damage is so good, so interesting as well. And you land down the SOD on it's so easy to land down the SOD, especially when your targets are slowed down in the real world manipulation.
Now, if we look at KE's ban, they are looking out for jungle bans, even though the Baxia has came out. Now, the thing about Baxia is that he's such an annoying hero that he can flex 3 ways. It could go roam, XP, or jungle.
Why are they still banning of the Hayabusa and the Joy?
That's why the Baxia can flex 3 ways.
True.
He could go XP, could go, not gold, but he could go XP, jungle, or roam. Mage is already been settled out, and that is going to be the Kimi. So right now, Baxia still doesn't tell us anything. Lapulu could go gold. That means that Baxia can still have 3 other lanes that he can kind of go into.
Yeah, let me drag a whiteboard behind you, and you're just literally going into conspiracy theories as well, because this is, I think, also confusing for Kingdom Esports side, right? Like they're wasting 2 bans, allowing Team Evil to really navigate around all the draft, and now Team Evil takes away the Ruby and the Esmeralda for themselves. They're looking at the Harif, definitely. For the side of Kingdom Esports, on the other hand, do they snap pick a Harif here to counter pick that away from Team Evil? Because since Team Evil has already taken away the Esmeralda, they're going to take the Grandeur instead. Now we're back into familiar territory. It's something that, your standard gold lane marksmans is still happening right here.
No, I think that Granger is the only pick that they can go for in order for them to have mid-game power spike, as long as the game works out well.
Oh, wow. Franco fought powerful. A pick-off composition. This is purely pick coming off from the side of Team Evil.
This is not what I was expecting. You do have pick-off potential from the side of Evil, but technically when it comes down to roaming trio, yes, you have some damage from Baxia, but it doesn't necessarily mean that this is a very bursty composition from Evil. It still have got late-game insurance when it comes down to the Harif and the Kimi, both of which can play and field in for the marksman role, but aside from that, that's pretty much all.
Yeah. Interesting picks coming out of Team Evil this time around. They're fitting themselves, they're pretty confident about this one. There you go. I'm expecting this Akai coming out from Yon from miles away. But Broken Wall for a Akai is a little bit counterintuitive in my opinion. But there is still a Lozy wall that can technically act as that wall as well.
So at least we do have a little bit of a synergistic option here. This is a throwback over to tank jungle kind of situation.
Yep, and don't forget, Akai can push people to the real world manipulation wall as well.
Yep, and it just keeps them inside there. But I'm not too sure whether that is realistically enough or not. The thing about Evil's lineup is that they have a Harif. However, they don't have a composition that allows them to play aerial denial. In fact, they are playing in to Kingdom Esports aerial denial with the last insanity. When it comes down to the real world manipulation, sometimes you can even say this AoE crowd control effect from the heavy spin or perhaps even the wild charge. This is a hard game for Harif.
Two teams at the lower bracket finals. One slot to the grand final slot, ladies and gentlemen, at the center point. These two teams need your support. Give them your love and cheers for either Kingdom Esports or Team Evil.
We start things off here in the Land of Dawn with both of the junglers that will be whittling away at the purple buff. And that will pretty much mean that both of the junglers will pretty much go on the opposite direction. One over to the gold and one over to the XP.
Yeah, a lot more fast pace from the side of Team Evil, mind you. Aether on this box here could just zip zap zoom around. Franco as well could also have solid movement speed that could just roam around the map very quickly. And it's all about catch.
Lane priority is going to be neck and neck in the middle lane.
First victim, Yon. Getting caught right there by the Iron Hook. Aether has to wiggle away. The walls from Lozy is going to be pivotal for Kingdom Esports.
And it's not too big of a deal. The main thing that we're looking out for is what kind of influence the mid lane will be able to apply over to the side. And perhaps even for the jungler. Because Akai versus the Boxia, it is fair to say the Boxia will always have a faster clear than Akai. So what does that bring in for Evil? And if whether they can even apply that kind of impact over to Kingdom. Do we go for a raid? Do we go for an easy and fast push in over to the gold lane? That's the question.
Mid-game power spikes, Evil, I think, a lot stronger, right? You've got your Bloody Hunt for powerful to lock down the necessary Yon, but Yon does have a heavy spin. When he's going around heavy spin, you really cannot lock him down. And, you know, if you push the members from the side of Evil to the wall, Aether may get stuck. So it's still, I would say literally abstract. It's down to the wire. Anything and everything can happen in the first total fight.
Now, there's nothing too out of the ordinary when it comes down to the laning phase itemizations. Everyone is working towards the same kind of idea. But down at the bottom lane...
Whoa, 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 whoa! Aether, where do you come from?
That is what I'm talking about. They have got fast pacing. A lot more high octane. But what they are trading off for that one kill is a turtle.
Yeah, I mean, you trade off a gold lane for a turtle. In terms of a long game, it's going to be a lot more beneficial unless, you know, Kingdom Esports not looking for that one. Ben actually gets slapped by Lozy just a little bit. Zaman Force. Oh, they let down the tectonic charge. Does go there, Purified to save. FMF flickers forward. Ben, real one manipulation, will be not able to survive just a little longer, but takes the Lozy. Powerful goes in, drags FMM there. No Bloody Hunt for powerful though.
Not only that, even if he does have the Bloody Hunt, the timing of the wave clear was a lot faster.
Oh man, Team Evil, high octane. They've got fuel, they've got rocket fuel in their cars, and they're so going to space.
Understandably, this is still the early stages of the game, and Evil's lineup, the way that they kind of look into this game is high octane pacing, and with the Boxia, they should be able to run around pretty fast too.
Yeah. And it's broken walls, right? You could just...
It is broken wall, yeah.
You don't need to... You don't need to save the jump. And now Aether looking very menacingly, clashing onto Kingdom Esports. The traction pulse does land. The Turtles boys actually going in as well just to disengage.
Now it's a little bit counterintuitive between these two.
Powerful. I mean, they get taken down by Grant easily. For now, as you can see, members from the side on the live audience this time around. Never knew we got this kind of UI as well as the members from the side. Ben. Oh man, no way for you to run. So many ultimates just for one boy.
3-3 and 3 minutes and 52 seconds in. We've got Kingdom Esports that trying to put themselves right into the doorstep of evil. It doesn't really quite suggest anything when it comes down to lane priority or perhaps winning percentages just yet.
Yep, Grand picking up a Hunter Strike is actually great for Kingdom Esports right now. Both these two teams neck and neck. Look at the score, look at the gold. It's just what, 42 goal lead, 25 goal lead. Both these two teams not giving an inch over to each other.
It's kind of a give and take kind of situation. Evil, they're not that far ahead of Kingdom Esports as much as we really want to see that.
Traction Pulse already committed by the side Sailor right there. Nosy Tectonic Charge, they push away Evil, but Evil still secure the turtle for themselves this time round.
The way that this pacing is going, Kingdom Esports will be happy about how it's working out. However, they are also kind of trading things out a bit too much because now Van has got a good amount of gold off of that energy shield down in the bottom lane.
Yep, if you take a look at top as well, Lapu Lapu also absorbed quite a decent amount of chunk as well. So, you know, in terms of gold, Team Evil is definitely going to be happy. But if you look at the gold league, Kingdom Esports still are able to catch up.
But remember about gold priority, and of course, every kind of priority. Grant currently have got quite a lot of kills, but there's a hook.
That's going to be a hook right into a bloody hunt as well. Losey slams on the wall. Sailor will be there to pick up that kill. More than happy to handshake that one. Ben focuses down the turret, down bot as well. Real world manipulation from FMM, trying to snap it. Grant trying to get it now. Powerful body blocking. Sailor also going soon as Evil gets away scot-free.
An absolute unit from the side of Evil, but that's not over.
Heavy speed coming up from Yon as well, but Yon may have been gone for a little bit too far. The No Man's Land is out by 4 on the side of Ben as Yon gets the lead on Team Evil. They reign supreme for now in the bot side.
That was a clear move from the side of Yon and with a very good intention. But unfortunately, the rest of Kingdom Esports is not going to go for that.
Yo, Yankee, get out. Okay, Flicker, back to safety for now. That's A-okay for now. Team Evil needs to be a little bit focused right here. They overheated just slightly. Gear has to burn a Flicker, but same could be said beside Kingdom Esports though. Yon was also overheating. That's a heavy spin that was committed, thinking it has enough damage, but Akai doesn't have the damage to deal with Ven.
The thing is, even when we are looking at some of these kills, it doesn't have a very high stake as to what kind of translation it gives. Yon may have died once, but maybe we'll look at the XP lead, as Yon is currently at level 8 and Aether is at level 9. So at least that does definitely help the members of Evil to go and win in this 50-50, which they would definitely try to go for.
Nosy down to slam Aether! A drive-by! It's nothing but a drive-by! FMM getting slowed down! Yon goes for the heavy spin. Trying to push Aether all the way back. He gets away. Real world manipulation for FMM. His slow people down. That's gonna be Grant picking up a killing spree. A Sky Christmas man as Kingdom Esports snaps back at Team Evil.
It's a one-man trade coming in. But to be fair, they did manage to take the turtle down as well. If you ask me, it is a turtle for a +5 trade. That's value.
Perhaps that's the way that Kingdom Esports finally found the stairways to victory for the side of Team Evil. The snowball for the side of Team Evil is squashed for now, as Aether coming in will be able to tag onto Losey as well.
The question is, where is all these damage coming from? We do have got a War Axe coming in from the side of Xbox, so hopefully that is something that they will be able to contribute. But ultimately, FMM, Grant, they all have to come in with that. But remember, Grok with the Tectonic Charge is also something that can really burst the enemies down. So don't look down on Losey just yet. The moment that he finds an opportunity with an instant gratification Tectonic Charge, you may expect that Ven and Sayla find themselves in a difficult spot unless the Purify is online.
Yeah, take note, Grant also starts to pick up a decent amount of Sky Piercer stacks as well. And now it is going to be a Team Evil taking up top side turret for themselves. Kingdom Esports slowly inching backwards. They are able to put a dent down bot for Team Evil though.
As both teams, they're currently going for a stare down in the middle.
Yeah, definitely a Mexican standoff right here.
As the pacing of the game slows down.
One false move, Abstract, it could be over for both of these two teams. The goal lead is not too far apart.
It's left with 3 seconds, and now with the lot available, it could quite literally go to anyone. But this It's still gonna be a hook.
Powerful will be able to land a hook onto Drinsanity. Sailor snapping on. Here stepping forward with the bravest warrior, but he gets burned down by Drinsanity. Grab picking up that kill. Unfortunately, Yon has the heavy spin all the way back, but Ben is in the corner. Lolzy goes into concealed play right here. Tries to go and find some form of target as members of Team Eva pushes Kingdom Esports away from the Lord Pit.
That concealed play would have been a big thing for Kingdom Esports. They've managed to found Van, so at least it takes them out of that surprise.
Grand is stacking up items. That's a Malefic gun, Malefic roll for the side of Kingdom Esports. Now they're one man down for the side of Team Evo. This is an opportunity for Kingdom Esports to take that one.
Immediately, it does seem like the rest of the members for the side of Evil is in a tough spot. As now Kingdom Esports, they want to floor it.
They're definitely going to go all the way in. The Lord is still missing the best of the members out. Ben, there's a shutdown. 4 members out for the side of Kingdom Esports as well. It's a triple kill for Ben. As kill slides onto Drinsanity. The breakfast warrior. The stab as Ben is online. A monster. And that's a wipeout for the side of Kingdom Esports.
This is Kingdom Esports that find themselves in a tough spot. We got a holy defense that is still available for Kingdom. They should be able to repel this one push down in the middle lane, but the Lord marches on from the top. There is a T2 that will be blocking their way.
I'm sorry, I'm very distracted by Powerful earlier, just now he has to calm his fans down right there on side because, man, Team Evo is set. Team Evo fans are sending energy on side right here against Kingdom Esports. As Kingdom Esports, they need to receive the Lord up top.
At least now the Lord is dealt with by Kingdom Esports. But with 6,000 gold lead in favor for Evo, what would it do?
Catching on to Drinsanity, the tectonic charge coming out from the side. Lolzy, FMM real world manipulation, but Yon this time out heavy spin all the way back to safety. Unfortunately, FMM slowly running out of steam just a little bit more as Kingdom Esports will be able to defend against a siege. They take down Powerful though, but they'll lose topside turret.
Back to neutral game. The top lane and the bottom lane T2 went down in favor for Evil. The amount of gold lead that's been created is a total of 6,000. And at 11 minutes, this is phenomenal.
Yeah, 6K gold lead, especially in this day and age of MLBB. Last time, when you're solidly ahead, I would say 8K, 10K. I've seen gold leads getting squandered away, but this time around, 6K, that is a tremendous gold lead in this particular patch.
Don't count Kingdom Esports out just yet.
Yep. Grant is stacking up Sky Piercer stacks. Already going for the Malefic gun as well. I think right now he lost his life just a little bit, so that stack's a little bit wonky.
Not exactly too sure how much stacks that he has, but it's still something. But as we slowly make our way across the Land of Dawn, Kingdom Esports not going to show too much information at this point. But
we'll
at least one
one
thing we'll show is this.
Sometimes
IT, our presenting partner, the code, QR code is all the way down the bottom lane.
I feel like the observer in production prepared for this angle.
They prepared for us to say that.
Yeah. That wasn't in the script.
It's in mine.
Oh.
You know what else is in the script? Super careful gameplay.
Okay.
Ah.
I thought you were going to go for a segue for something else.
Nope.
I'm not ready for any form of segue because this series, a roller coaster of emotions as well. Team Evo finds something in the previous game. They've managed to put a stop against Kingdom Esports. But now it is going to be the Lord fight that's upcoming.
Back at it again. With the Lord now available at the top left. Evil. They do have got very good spatial tools. They should be able to push Kingdom away.
Powerful is trying to go for some form of fishing. Unable to find anything for now.
Fishing?
Yeah, it's a Franco.
Good day for fishing, ain't it?
Yep.
So Yon, they will definitely want to look for that opportunity. It does have got a heavy spin that will be able to put Aether in a really tough spot. But that's the start.
Stepping forward, just a little bit, bravest warrior. Put aside here. One man against another. But it's going to be Yon! Takes the Lord from Team Evo. As FMN set down real world manipulations on my force as well. But the wall for the side, Lolzy actually blocking everybody. Aether in no man's land, trying to out-survive the members of the side. Kingdom Esports stepping forward with the carry. But down your way he stands.
Evil traded their XP laner for a single XP and a jungler. However, the Lord will be fighting in favor of Kingdom Esports.
A massive steal for the side of Kingdom Esports to slow down the tempo just a little bit more, but Team Evo still knocking on the door of Kingdom Esports' base.
If you think that this game is going to be anticlimactic, well, it's not going to be. He's going to be part of fight back.
Grand shuts down Ven and Lord, also the paid actor against Team Evil. Kingdom Esports stepping out of the base, breathing fresh air.
Kingdom Esports, they're not going to be taking the beating. He's sitting down. With the Lord, they will be marching down from the bottom lane, and especially for Grant that manages to take that one kill. That is yet another stack. They will go up to the Sky Piercer, which will definitely contribute to this 15-minute game as of now.
We've been here before. When Grangers start picking up their stacks over and over again, with the Lord in tow from the side of Kingdom Esports, Evo right now has to slowly defend this. They cannot afford to give more kills over to Grant.
The real estate now shifts over in favor of Kingdom Esports as they take down the T2 turrets down in the bottom lane and the middle lane.
So much standing gold, Abstract. Mid and bot line all clean up. Kingdom Esports can focus their attention up top.
With this single Lord still, they've effectively managed to come completely clean with Evil.
Man, if Kingdom Esports get this, it's Yawn with that one retry.
All of the standing objectives in the outer sides of the base are all eliminated. We're just now left with the inhibited turrets that is standing tall for both of these two teams.
A massive reset as well, and over to the Team Evo, 400 gold lead. Kingdom Esports clawed their way back, and now we're on a stalemate, Abstract.
Once again, back over to the Mexican standoff, with both teams. They have expended all of their adrenaline in trying to take down all of these standing objectives, reclaiming the lands of which belonged to them.
Yeah, and now it's a clean split. Grant, man, his Sky Piercer stacks should be ongoing right now as we amp up for the Lord upcoming in the next 25 seconds.
This game, entirely dead even. One with the pick-off potential, and one with the explosive potential.
Yeah, lots of sanity from Drink Sanity. That's going to be a mouthful to mention later on.
Honestly, at this point in time, the Sanity name plus the last Sanity name just kind of feels like a Red Boss thing.
Yeah.
He's preparing for this final moment. To be fair, might not be final. We are 16 minutes into this game, and the Lord is not even at the evolved stage. At this point, both teams should be able to defend against the Lord even if they loses, unless it's a total wipeout.
Evo need the teamfight magic right here. Gear, that choke point fight earlier was great. That's going to be attraction pulse. The hook.
That's the hook.
Finds on the Jutsanity. That's going to be Jutsanity going down. Aether goes all the way in, trying to find the flank onto the back line for the side of Kingdom Esports. Grand goes into where Winter Trucker will not be able to do anything. Aether still ongoing though, pushing down, slowing the tempo for the side of Kingdom Esports, but may have been overextended just a little bit more because the members for the side of Kingdom Esports stepping forward.
He has been a tanky boy this whole time.
Another hook as well, right into the suppression. Yawn deleted, and now the Sky Piercer stack. Gear stepping forward with the Purpose Warrior, and Kingdom Esports, they lose the jungler.
We may not have the high lows in here for the glorious pathway, but that is a glorious run from the side of Aether, literally passing through every single member of the side of Kingdom Esports with the Tortoises Persons to land up all of these anti-regen over the side of Kingdom Esports, walk past all of them, and just create entire confusions to their rankings.
A drive-by power for these hooks was so pivotal, and now we have to repeat this once again. Yawn goes into 7 seconds. The Lord down low already. The members of the Kingdom Esports unable to reach. The Lord pin right here. Sailor angles for Aether, and now it's going to be all eyes onto the Lord. Aether securing the Lord for himself. FMM will go in with the real world manipulation. Grant picking up Aether for the kill.
Look out for Grant still. He still is in the game, despite the fact that both teams have lost one each. The main thing is that Evil have lost their jungler, but doesn't matter because the Lord still goes over to one side.
Yep, item power spikes for all these players already. Grant going in for the Rose Gold and even the Immortality. We're already starting to see items being switched out for the side of the gold laners, and now it's all down to this Lord push. Evo needs to create a dent right here to be able to win a ticket, or unless FMM, the sheer amount of defensiveness with the real world manipulation, will deny the ticket for Team Evil.
With the traction pulse, that's gonna be having first contact Yon puts himself right in front and will take a bit of the stun, but he's just gonna be going back in.
Insanity getting kidnapped right here. Sailor will be able to pick up Yon as well, and now bit by bit, Kingdom Esports slowly losing ground just a little bit more. The Lord will march all the way in to the mid, top, bottom side. Just one sneeze on it and it's already gone. Gil will sneeze on that one.
And the sneeze in the middle lane as well. This is almost a barren wasteland in the land of Kingdom Esports, leaving out with the top lane.
Nosy Tectonic Charge, the real war manipulation for FMM denying Team Evo from the siege as well. And now the members outside, Team Evo focusing their efforts on the top side. They crack open, they clean up Kingdom Esports' space.
Evil is still very strong, but it does seem like with the Diamond Force for the side of Van, he's not stopping!
Van is not stopping on this one! The Diamond Force going in! And ladies and gentlemen, Kingdom Esports will be able to try to push as much as they can as Team Evil will triumph. The last insanity for Insanity denying the siege of Team Evil.
They still can wave clear, no problems. Even though Evil went back for a retreat, the top lane and the bottom lane now pushes in. This should suffice, and this should give them a reason to go back in after healing up a little bit more.
The wave clear, man.
However, yes, the wave clear from Kingdom Esports is still strong, and Evil do not want to press any buttons where it comes off as a little bit too desperate.
30 seconds on the clock. 2 members from the side Kingdom Esports go down. The base all clean up. Team Evil was just 1 CM away from imminent victory. However, Insanity on the flamethrower literally burnt every minions down, and Team Evil is unable to step forward. Kingdom Esports fought hard for another fight.
Back to the reset. 20 minutes in.
Yeah.
4,100 gold in favor for Evil. With 15 seconds left until the next lord eventually appears. Economy might be a big gap, but in 20 minutes, and with
doesn't matter anymore.
It doesn't matter anymore,
yeah.
Especially for the team that is behind. They already have 58,000 gold.
They have caught up in terms of the items as well. The Lord has spawned. It's going to be a very pivotal Lord. Kingdom Esports looking for this Lord to deny. No, actually, they can actually use this Lord to punch into Team Evil, and then we're all back to square one. However, Team Evil wants this Lord. This is an evolved Lord.
Evolved Lords are huge.
Yeah.
It's going to be tough to deal with it in lane, and even when it comes down to the Mega Creeps.
Yon does have Immortality in tow as well. Grant is trying to fix the wave. We'll be coming back very, very soon.
Information is key as well. The problem is for the side of Kingdom Esports, there's a naturally pushing lane up in the top. They need to have a bit of cross-map plays in order to win in the top lane or the Lords.
Base. Kingdom times are running out. They really have to go for this, but hold on a second. Gear all the way in the back of the base. Trying to make a play out there. Pulls 2 members all the way back. Gear trying to slice the dice. Activated Perfect Warrior. He'll be able to go all the way up. Buys a bit of time for the side of Team Evil to focus on the Lord instead. They take the Evolved Lord and the sacrifice of Gear. But hold on a second. The Flame Strikes will not be able to take Gear down.
Gear survived throughout the entire rundown.
Gear smash. Gear angry. They pull Kingdom Esports back.
They force Kingdom Esports to pull back to prevent an imminent doom over to their crystal. That also means that they lose the opportunity to contest against the Lord. There's a completely free Lord for Evil, as now in a completely barren wasteland. Kingdom Esports now have to face the wrath of 5 heroes, 1 Lord, and an army.
And it's at the Evolved Lord, the abstract. It is down to that wire. Kingdom Esports got checkmated right there, but that move. The wall is getting blocked right here by the side. Kingdom Esports blocking the Lord from entering. This is it. The traction pulse catching on to 2.
Insanity is still somewhere in there, but it's just gonna go in for last Insanity.
Diamond Force coming up for the side of Ben already, but FMM real raw manipulation actually focusing down, trying to burn down as many minutes as possible. Kingdom Esports is slowly losing steam as Evil secures the ticket to the Grand Finals.
Evil, with the first win of the series, dropping 2. Hopes were low, but they climbed all the way up again, with consecutive victories in 4th and 5th game.
An anime of a series, a roller coaster. It was almost imminent that Kingdom Esports was able to win it all, but game number 4, that's where they strike. They stop the momentum for the side of Kingdom Esports, and they win it all in this lower bracket finals.
It could go either way at that point in time. But Evil is the one that found the solution to all of these problems and on the fly. However, for the side of Kingdom Esports, they managed to look for a Achilles heel in game number 2 and 3, and it worked out fine. But unfortunately, adaptability gotta have to be the bane of their existence, as seems like Evil. They found out the answer, they changed the way that they banned, they gave assassin junglers, and they didn't care nuts about Yon's hero pool.
The Baxia man from the side of Aether, the drive-through that we saw that allowed them to snowball. Gear is angry, Gear smash, and Gear chokes at the members from the side of Kingdom Esports, and the choke point denies the rest of the members from the side of Kingdom Esports to reinforce all these team fights. He threatened that base steal right there, and he's able to survive. Had he lose his life right there, that Lord will be for naught.
This is not what we would expect coming in from Team Evil. Lapu Lapu is not really a split pusher, but indeed, they will still make it work. With the MVP of this game going over to Ven, piloting as a Harif with a total of 7 kills, 3 deaths, and 9 assists. Total of 94% kill participation. Indeed, a catalyst of the game to be able to provide the amount of damage throughout the entire game from the start to the finish.
Yeah, Ven was outputting damage from behind. Oracle already committed. He sold boots, ma. He sold boots. He needed more shields. There's no Esmeralda to control because they banned it away earlier just now. MVP well deserved for the side of Harif. Heck, Team Evil deserve MVP, all of them. All of them. MVP.
Every single one of them deserves the MVP. And with that said, Evil, with 3 victories in the pockets, we gotta have to say thank you over to Kingdom Esports ultimately, as they have played a very good job, and I gotta have to say it was a valiant effort.
It is a very good run if you're a Kingdom Esports fan. Man, it is a very tough run for them because during the regular season they were struggling. They grew tremendously in between the regular season and the playoffs. They had to go through the challenger brackets as well, if I'm not mistaken.
Exactly.
They found themselves in top 3. Commiserations for the same as well.
You gotta have to give credit where credit's due, right?
I
Kingdom
will give it all.
Esports didn't go
Take my
so
credit
well,
card.
as you said, right? It didn't go so well in the regular season. We doubted them. Before the regular season even happened, we had high hopes on Kingdom Esports. We thought, hey, this roaming trio, Yon, FMM, and Lolzy, this is a crazy lineup. They could go all the way through. We thought that they didn't do well in regular season. That really happened. But right after the break and everything else, they went through the challenger brackets. They found their way, they found their answer, and through boot camps and whatever training that they have went through, they found themselves in the podium finish.
Man, what a tight series. And Team Evil right now, this is the moment. This is the time. A full game 5 of the series. One more step. They need to go through the grand finals first. One more step. Team Evil may have a chance for M7 Abstract.
But the next hurdle that you gotta have to go through first is gonna be
the Tyrants.
The Tyrants and the reigning champions. Team Flash Singapore.
4-peat is not easy.
4-peat is not easy.
And it's also not easy for Team Evil as well.
But before we even jump on to the conclusion of this series, this game pretty much will be highlighted in the total of these 5 total games of the series. It went down all the way through, right? As we kind of dial it back a little bit.
I want a bonk. Where's my bonk in the highlights?
I think that we're past the bonk, unfortunately. We're past the bonk for this one already. But the main thing is Evil takes game 1. And I think that this is a very convincing win for Evil. Tempo, momentum, would have and should have went over to Evil. But I would say the Kingdom, they did manage to come in with a really good reset.
Yeah.
And the mental game was still strong. Just to break that tempo of Evil. They were so close.
Yeah, it's literally down to the wire. Like I said this yesterday, I'm going to say it today as well. Kingdom Esports gives us a great series, mind you. And Team Evil, though, unfazed, so much revelation, so much changes in day 2 where they tried a fighter gold lane, but they're back here on Vance Harif, one of his key heroes, mind you.
And all in all, this is going to be, of course, the next part of the game, game number 3. It was definitely a tough game for Evil as well.
Yep.
And this is really just about the ride for Evil, right? They did whatever that they can. It didn't really quite work out. They changed their draft, and this is the part where their draft finally changed. They gave Aether the assassin role, and we really start to see a little bit of that change in the drafting, and we see a little bit of a change of the impact of the game.
Yeah, I love it when, you know, this kind of things happen. It's just down to literally the draft and also the execution. Kingdom Esports also, right? They do have a chance in that last game as well, right? Like they were able to output a decent amount of chunk of damage, but Aether on this Baxia that you're seeing right here, the drive-bys, the takedowns as well, it's just way too much for Kingdom Esports. Leaking out Baxia, I'm not too sure, because, you know, don't forget, Baxia is almost perma-banned in throughout MPL Singapore.
The kingdom may fall at the end of this series, and that will allow the Evil to seep their way through the throne room, as they now find themselves a little bit of a virus. Now, of course, if whether that will infect the current throne holder and, of course, the one with the crown, Team Flash awaits at the summit and waiting for this eventual battle against Team Evil.
One Evil and one Tyrant all the way at the summit, at the grand final. This feels like watching an anime when there's two antagonists just fighting against each other and there's no protagonist in the story.
It's gonna be a tough game to watch, with the fact that this game is pretty much the prologue to the Usurpers. And we are gonna be unlocking that part of the chapter very soon between Team Evil versus Team Flash SG. We're gonna be passing the time over to Tsuki, as we believe that we have a little bit of an interview to round up this entire series. Tsuki, off to you.
Alright, thank you, casters. And here I have Aether from Team Evil, the game-changing jungler that we've seen in such a crazy series just now. Aether, it is your rookie season here in MPL Singapore Season 10. How are you feeling?
I think I feel a bit happy because I can go to grand final now, and of course our goal is to be champion, so we don't so much happy here because we must to focusing on the next game.
Alright, thank you so much. On the day 1 of playoffs, Gear did mention that having a coach has helped you guys improve your team fight potential, get you guys really into the mental state of, you know, doing well and taking away the series, right? So maybe you can share a little bit about another member of your team who you think has been very important in your growth this season, and you can maybe say some nice things about them.
I think powerful because he is so focusing to be champion this season, so he try hard and make us so encouraged also to hard work, and so we can do it now.
Right, so powerful once again as the heart of Team Evil. Flash has sent you guys into the lower brackets in the playoffs already. Is there anything that you managed to prepare? You know, do you think it was a strategy issue, or do you think it's more about mental fortitude? Maybe you can share a little bit about how your team prepared for the grand finals.
I think we just focusing step by step. So next game we will. I don't know. I can say it in this live. So we just focusing on the next game and improve from the game yesterday and review it. So we can. I think we can do better now.
Thank you so much, Aether. Couldn't manage to get any secret strats for you guys, but we are going to go for a break until next game. But before we go to a break, just a reminder, there is an IT lucky draw coming up real soon. And in fact, right after this, we're also going to have the cosplay challenge. So whoever is here at Centrepoint, please hang around. There's so much more action, there's so many more things to do. For the rest of you guys at home, we'll see you guys at the grand finals.